I like the old school wrestling, like a huge Bret Hart mark, but like new wrestling, I don't really watch so much. Like I just love hearing like old school stories, like back in the day, like behind the scenes stuff.
You're like a huge Logan Paul fan.
No. He does wrestle, but he's good at it. So I give respect for that. But I just love the stories from back in the day. It's just the Wild West. It's just like popping somas, doing blow, going town to town, just making 40 bucks. Like, it's just like
and not secretively, like it was encouraged. Like that was part of the whole idea. Yeah. Just like steroids. Like they're like
open about it.
Are you not doing the steroids yet? Because we've got literally barrels full of steroids. You can snort it. You can.
I just don't know if CM Punk's straight edge logo was the best idea for the Stoney Baloney pod. Kind of the opposite.
I like that.
I like that. His whole deal is that he wears X's on his hands and he's like a straight edge guy. He's a vegan and he doesn't do drugs.
I didn't know that actually.
Drink.
That's funny.
That's why he was terrible when he came over to the UFC.
Yeah, because of the vegan thing.
Well, you have to eat steak if you're gonna fight another man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's required. For sure, that is required.
You gotta eat a steak if you're gonna fight another man.
And like immediately before, preferably. Like steak, fight. Yeah, that's
Are you
the
getting
way
merch made that says that? Because you should get.
Yes, I would buy that shirt. I would buy that shirt today. Yeah.
That is a good call to make your merch just like fun phrases and nothing to do with you.
Just weird shit you've said once. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's my favorite thing. Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we love Stoney Baloney so much, because you don't need to know Gabe or I for Stoney Baloney.
Same with Hump Days.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. Excellent. I love that.
Yeah, see, you get it. You get it, exactly.
I mean, it's easy. People are probably going to remember Hump Days before they remember our names, so we're like, that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
That's how it works.
As long as you keep coming.
Absolutely. Yeah, which is the point of coming up with a good brand name. It's got to be catchy. That's the whole thing. Our names are what they are. You know what I'm saying? Like that's I know some comics do the whole fake name thing, but I think that's dumb.
Your name's really Gabriel Kerr?
Okay. That sounds made up.
No, but thanks for breaking the fourth wall.
What's your real name?
No, it's
It's
my
like
real
he's
name.
not from here.
Yeah.
It's just like his Mexican name. Illegally.
Yeah, how do Canadians feel about Mexicans?
We're very jealous they get to live here very easily.
I like that. Can you hear us all good?
Can you bring the mic up a little bit?
This way?
Yeah, because you're saying a lot of funny things.
You can also go like this, or is that better, or is it better closer?
What's it?
As you want it, you want it to be
Close?
Yeah, about a fist away from your face. There you go. Exactly. Correct.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, Scott knows.
He knows.
No, Gabe just tricked me into making it look like I was putting a dick in my mouth.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. He just wanted to see what we looked like.
and you know what?
It happens.
Exactly the
Twins.
same technique. Yeah.
Is that why we're on the same side of the table?
Yeah, Alfie's a lucky man.
Well, so are you. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You're not sucking my dick.
That's
What?
true.
Oh, I thought.
Well,
Everybody does.
Call baloney.
Well, that's the show, folks.
oh man.
What's the most
Wait,
what's the most fucked up you guys have been doing this? Like it's just like because you
Most
got,
fucked up we've been doing?
yeah, like you got
Mask.
that. Like have you been like, oh shit, our guest is brain dead now?
Yeah, us or the guest?
The guest, yeah.
So we get asked most of the time, like, how do you guys do this every time? But this is, unfortunately, the
every
more
day.
people bring it up, I'm like, I think we've got a problem. I think that the reason that everybody's saying something about it is because everybody notices. So we don't really get fucked up to beyond control, but we did have a guest 30 minutes into the podcast. He was having like full-on panic attacks. And he's like, I gotta go. I'm sorry, I gotta go. And we haven't had him back on to finish it yet. Like he's still traumatized.
Not because he's a pussy, but just because.
If you're watching this,
gave him too much. Too much.
I'm saying that's not the
too
reason.
much of everything.
Yeah.
And then he just brought up some trauma from the past.
Also, we may have done that too. We do that.
Yeah, we did. He did talk about some weird stuff.
Yeah. And not like on purpose. Like it just kept coming out.
Yeah.
Very
It's a good strategy.
Case of the verbal diarrhea. I was like, and then my mom molested me, and we're like, oh, okay. And it wasn't that bad, but it was close enough.
Yeah.
I think they were all doing fentanyl together.
Yeah.
The fentanyl family.
Yeah.
What an exciting episode of Family Feud that would be.
Oh my God,
Just
the
a
fentanyl family.
Everybody just nodding
yes.
out on the fucking microphones.
Yeah, absolutely. Broken the phone.
Just asking Steve Harvey if he has any money.
He does.
Just you got any money?
But yeah, for the record, he does. He's got some money.
Yeah.
He's got all that Ricky Smiley in the morning money. All right, that's a deep cut.
It is. It's too deep.
This is
You had that on the
radio show.
Was that on the radio in Atlanta?
Yeah, it's an
Growing up?
Atlanta radio show.
Yeah. Because I grew up in Virginia, but it came in on the Richmond station because they were doing it out of North Carolina.
Yo, what's going on in
Pretty
Virginia? Is it West Virginia or Virginia where they have like the same amount of cops as they did in Miami? There is like a thing going on.
I don't know.
With the
Or like a mall.
mall creatures.
surrounded
Yeah,
by
like you know,
thousands
how,
of
like
aliens.
yeah, but now there's like a thing. I don't know if it's Virginia or West Virginia, where there's like a bunch of cops are just showing up to something. It's just like a line of them.
So it's like a
Interesting.
glitch.
I have not seen that. No. Aliens.
I don't
Is
know,
it
man, but
aliens?
I'm glad to be here. Like it's awesome. Like it's like we're here for it.
It's a fun ride. It's a fun ride, dude. Yeah, there's a lot of mysteries to unfold now. Things are getting
You
weird.
guys got here and you were like, "Oh, it's all true? Oh my God, all of it."
Well,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's happening now.
Unfortunately,
Like
yeah.
it's just like we're allowed to talk about everything now. Like it's sweet.
Yeah.
Aliens, JFK happened.
Yeah.
Well, we're not really allowed because YouTube won't let us.
No, you can say you can talk about JFK.
Oh, that's true. You can talk about something.
Yeah, just
And
not,
like-
Yeah, we can talk about
not just
JFK.
not Robert.
Yeah,
you
like-
can't talk about the
would
current
like-
Kennedy.
Yeah, and we can't make a clip of this and post that on.
I don't think that guy can win because his voice is so bad.
It's too fucking.
Yeah.
It's just like
His policies and his ideas are great, but yeah,
It's just-
to be like a world leader, you just have to have that charisma, and his voice just isn't.
But
Magnetic
Biden doesn't
enough.
have charisma.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say,
true.
it's not like that's true about our current president, but I think that
Every
is
other
too
one.
much of an impediment when your job, up until our current situation, is talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously Biden does his little talking.
You guys don't think Biden's charismatic?
I think
No.
he was.
Really?
he was.
Yeah, like in 76, 77, he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
fiery.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
when he was
I
saying that
wasn't even
racist
born
shit
then.
just off the top of his head, it was just like
Yeah,
It was just
back when he was real. Back when he was
Alfie,
true.
we just got
true
here.
to form.
I dropped something.
Oh, yeah. So, are we rolling? Oh, we are.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Stoney Baloney.
Oh, also this is THCA.
Right. That's
The legal
totally
stuff.
legal here.
Yeah,
The Khloe Kardashian of weed.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, as far as the recording goes, he's live editing, and we try to make the smoking like as implied as possible. So
Okay.
we're not going to focus on you when you're
Well, you never
taking
have
a
yet.
giant
so
bong hit.
you never will.
I can focus on you. I'm sorry.
So, out of conspiracy theories, like my favorite one, and like we just heard as soon as we got here, and like it was my favorite thing ever because like I was getting my hair cut, and usually when you go to get a haircut, it's always like they're always like the most liberal people ever. Like they're like
Okay,
they're
was
just
it
like a coffee
was it
shop.
a
Where you get your
barbershop?
haircut at?
No, it was at a salon. So it's like I went to a salon, and then
Yes.
Because they're
So everyone-
fabulous.
yeah, they're fabulous. And then so everyone in there is like it's like a coffee shop.
They
People
all
work
have
at a
the
coffee
same
shop.
sweater that you have.
Yep.
Yeah, they all have like their purple hair, but I got a girl and she was like full into conspiracy theories. She was like
Deep.
Nice.
just deep into it, and that was the first time I heard Michelle Obama has a penis. So I was just like, that's been my
Nice.
favorite thing going on here.
That's
And he
Wow,
loves
you
it.
just heard that one?
That was
Yeah.
like when we first moved here. Yeah. So it's like Michelle Obama has a penis. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, she's a penis. But like, all the eyes in the salon of everyone worked there is just looking at this girl like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's why I love my tattoo artist, because he's just full of all of that. And every time I go see him and get a tattoo, he's spitting conspiracy theories at me and people in the tattoo shop, because it's Austin. And people are like, what? But it's a fucking tattoo shop.
What are some wild ones
That makes
you've heard?
sense. Yeah. Tattoo shop makes sense.
Some wild conspiracy theories. That I've
Yeah,
heard.
where it's like, oh, that's very cool. Like that's like an interesting one.
My favorite
God,
conspiracy
how-
theory
how
from the
much time
past
do
few
you have?
years is that COVID was Jeffrey Epstein's kill switch. That's a fun one.
That is very.
Like in case of emergency, break glass and release the coronavirus type thing.
What would his motivation be?
what would his motivation
to
be?
distract the world so that he could get away and
Right,
fake his
yeah.
death.
Yeah.
Fake.
Could
Also,
steal
he's still
more
alive.
children.
Oh, so he's still alive.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
He Tupac that shit.
Well,
Yeah.
him being alive seems really reasonable of a conspiracy.
Yeah, because there's no
Yeah.
cameras, no
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Bin Laden are just on an island somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, that seems very.
See, the thing is, like, movies now
reasonable.
suck. So it's like this plot line's way better than anything I've seen that Marvel or Disney's come out with.
It's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you,
Oh,
I'm assuming
Hold
you.
on,
Yeah, you were.
Can I smoke cigarettes?
Not in here.
No, I wish.
All right.
Do you have a vape?
Never vaped. Well, cigarettes here are so cheap. I'm like losing money compared to Canada. It's like I'm losing money not smoking down here.
That's
It's
what he
like,
says.
That's true.
It's like $25 up there.
You're making me rethink this whole quitting smoking thing.
Yeah, it's so cheap. Are you a vapor or a?
I'm a smoker. I have
Okay.
a pack of cigarettes in my pocket right now. Yeah.
Did you try the vapes yet?
I hit them, but I've never tried to quit smoking by vaping.
Well, not quit. I just meant like some people just like it more and they
Yeah,
get
as an
super addicted to the.
alternative.
Yeah.
It seems
Oh,
like
there's-
everybody's hooked on the vapes.
Yeah, there's
lately.
there's probably more people at this point, honestly, that are addicted exclusively to vapes that have probably never smoked a cigarette.
Well, it's
at all.
Because
more
they think it's
accessible.
healthy, I guess, right? Or do they
Right.
know it's not yet? Do people know?
I think everybody probably knows at this point a little bit, but it's the problem with that is it's so like you can get any flavor you want, you know what I'm saying, and it's
So many flavors.
And it is delicious.
Whereas smoking a cigarette, you're always reminded of what's actually happening.
Right. Yeah, you can
That's a
feel
good
it.
point.
Yeah.
It's on fire. It's a heavy smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But you can definitely fool yourself with a fruity flavor vape
Yeah, but just
that
like,
doesn't hit. You know what I'm
you
saying?
can't
Doesn't burn the back of
fool
your
yourself
throat.
into looking cool. Like it's just like a cigarette's
No.
just cool. It's just
Yes,
like it's
absolutely.
just something about
Yes.
having a dart. You get like a couple drinks in you. You got that nice buzz. You're having that first dart after like getting drunk, and that's like one of the greatest feelings in the world.
Now I want a beer.
Yes. Yeah. And to your point, yeah. There is no cool factor with vaping.
What was so weird
In fact,
was
it's quite the opposite.
true.
The cooler you try to look vaping,
The
More
less cool
nerdy
you
look.
Yeah, exactly.
Total nerd alert.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
those people who used to do the like vape tricks and go to the vape conventions
Oh,
Yeah.
and
they
stuff. and
used to. I'm sure that's
still
still happening.
happening,
For
yeah.
sure. Probably more. Yeah.
people walking around with the big mods and stuff. Oh my gosh.
It was so bizarre where like the kids maybe 5 years younger than us, there was a brief phase of chewing tobacco. I don't know if you guys had that. Did y'all have that?
Well, I
It
grew
was
up in
like
the country, so
people were
there's
just
definitely a
like,
lot
yeah.
so
of
much
people doing
chewing tobacco, and I'm like,
tobacco.
that's like not as cool.
No.
Either. That's probably like lower.
It's
cool.
cool.
Than a vape.
It
It's so
is
gross.
cool in a certain subsect. Like,
Yeah.
Like real country folk. Like that's
Yeah.
definitely got a cool edge
country
to
folk,
it, for
baseball players.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes definitely.
Yeah. That want to have nicotine but have no other way to get.
Yeah.
Like you just.
It's
have
weird
to,
though. I
like,
went to
it's a-
such like a preppy school, and like the hockey kids just did it.
Oh, yeah, that's a hockey boy thing. Yeah, they
Yes,
do.
for
Hockey boys
sure.
do.
Sure,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're also getting a buzz off of it too.
Oh, yeah, you get a nice buzz.
They're getting a nice buzz while they're playing. It helps.
Right.
Sometimes it helps.
So you're saying it's a performance enhancing drug?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly what I'm
That's why it's so big in baseball.
Yes.
See that Jimmy
exactly.
Garoppolo got suspended for 2
Yeah.
games for a performance enhancing drug.
But not. So like he didn't do. It's not steroids.
Right.
It was just chewing tobacco.
Or it was
No,
just a
it's-
banned
it's a-
substance.
No, it's a medicine he's prescribed that
Oh.
he didn't get a
Oh
special
my God.
exception
Like, he's
from the
just-
NFL for. Because I heard somebody talking about it because you have to go through like 4 or 5 levels of like your doctor and then the team's doctor and then an independent doctor and then the NFL's doctor and then you have to get like okays from each of those levels and it's like months of process to be able to get the okay from like for
Just
an
so you can
exception
take your
from
medicine.
the NFL so that you can take what you're prescribed. Yeah, and he just skipped the process.
Is that any prescription?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, not any prescription, but anything on their list, which I'm sure is a very long list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, so it's
Lot of
probably like
regular.
Adderall or some shit that he subscribed.
Yep.
Yeah. And just which also, I'm not saying that didn't give him some kind of an edge. Well, if you've
It
seen
didn't
him,
at
if
all.
You've seen him play.
No, it's just.
Yeah.
Guys,
Unlike studying, he was really good at studying game film. You know what I'm saying? Like he was up late
Oh yeah.
watching.
Yeah, he knew the
film.
playbook,
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
but
everybody.
he couldn't.
yeah,
play.
he
memorized
he
the
really he memorized how to check down. Like he really did.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
it's just like.
Yeah, he knew where the running back was every time.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah. But Josh Jacobs did not know how to catch it.
He didn't know where to go with the ball. Yeah.
Welcome to our football podcast.
Yeah.
You guys.
America.
When did you guys come here? When did you first? Because you said
it was May 2022.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when we kind of crossed the border and
That's when we moved
intending to go on vacation, and then we stayed.
Oh, actually, yeah, that was 2021. So we flew over. Yeah. So we flew over. So this is what happens in Canada because it's a communist country now. Thank you, Fidel Trudeau.
But
you guys are so sweet, but also like saying things like that. I love it. I love it. With a big old smile.
That's why we had to go.
Yeah.
And then I think the border here was closing. So it was like, they were like, oh, it's going to, like, Biden was like, it's going to close to you people, our class.
Yeah, the unvaccinated.
Don't say
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Your
to our
amongst
class.
friends. Yep.
Yeah, so
And
is
then,
that part of the reason why you left Canada?
Well, I mean, the Trudeau got
yeah,
reelected
part of
because
it. Yeah.
he campaigned
so.
on him saying we have to do something with these deplorables. Like he called us deplorable, and he won. So
And
that's just like, well, what
Nazis, too.
Yeah.
So
Which is
it's
funny.
just like,
Yeah.
all right, well, the lines are drawn in the sand. That's
Yeah,
good another
absolutely.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and then he spent several years proving that he meant it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he denies it. But so it was so weird.
So
We had a-
Biden
That's
like, oh, yeah.
that's the craziest part about it is the time. We can't go too far because this will get struck down. But we don't have Joe Rogan poll. But yeah, that's the craziest part of it is the 180 on all of the things everybody was saying about people who didn't get vaccinated.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just, I think I have to let it go.
I vividly remember how you fucks were talking about me. Like I will never forget. In
I'll
fact.
never
Yeah.
forget.
Yeah.
But I just have to see it like I can't
Yeah,
fight
that
the
was our
internet and I
9/11.
can't fight the government. And I'm here now in Austin, Texas with you guys, so I feel like I won.
But like
Yeah.
NEIN.
Yeah.
Good.
So it's like
You
the best way to
escaped.
win is I
Yeah.
won. But like the escaping was crazy because like
It was just kind of announced so quick.
we weren't allowed to drive across. We had to fly across. So
Yeah,
we had to.
It was already banned to drive.
So I drove my
Illegal
car
to drive.
up to the border.
Yeah.
Where like the border is probably here to like the just where he is right there. Drive the car. Pay someone $200 to drive it over. I had to fly from Vancouver to Seattle with 2 dogs. Drive back to get the car, and then we.
The guy drove it across.
Why
and we
couldn't
drove.
you drive your car across?
Because
It
it was illegal at the time. So
we were allowed to fly, but not drive across the
yeah,
border.
because I mean I don't know.
Unless you're a towing company.
What? How
Well,
does that
the whole thing
distinction
was
exist?
very logical, and you're wrong.
Yeah. It's just like,
I don't even know that this was a thing. So you couldn't drive across, but you can get
I
in a
guess that would
plane.
spread it.
Yeah.
But then you can
And
get on
fly
a plane, and that
across.
won't spread it. I don't know
But a
why.
tow truck is
in your
allowed
own
to do it.
car. I'm not sure.
tow truck was allowed to do it.
Okay, was this a Canada side thing?
No.
Canada's
in
for
this
America.
case, it was finally America.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was so Canada was.
So we put up the
Canadians
block,
could
and
go.
nobody's allowed to drive in.
No one
Yeah,
else allowed
and
to
then
drive
the
in.
flight
But if
one
you-
was
But if
happening.
you fly over COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I got it, okay.
the next day that we got our flights, they were banning anybody that wasn't vaccinated on planes. So we had to get out fast, but also we couldn't.
Oh fuck! So you were like at like a speed countdown
we
to
could-
getting the fuck
and-
out.
and
Yeah, because we were like, how long
Jesus.
is it going to take? It could be years, and
Yeah.
it was.
It was absolutely.
was
And we
2.5
couldn't make it look like we
Yeah.
were moving. So we had to make it look like a vacation. So we had 1 suitcase and like a bag.
We were going on
Yeah.
vacation.
I tossed in some
Let
golf
the
clubs.
record say.
Yeah.
We were going to Disneyland. That's what we said.
Yeah, we were
And
just
I know
going to
every
THCA.
Disney movie, and I can quote it.
Yeah, like
proof.
we were just
Yeah,
gonna lay
we-
low in America for a while, just go on vacation and go. Parents had a place in Florida, so that was the drive from Vancouver, Pacific Northwest, all the way down, and then through, then to Florida.
Yeah. And then Florida was like cool because it's like going back in time. And
Did you
Yeah.
have to? So you had to fly to Seattle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And what was why Seattle?
those,
Why
just
couldn't
the
you fly to?
closest.
You couldn't fly to New York.
We
No,
could have flown
well, one
anywhere,
might-
but we
sorry,
just wanted our car.
Where were you driving across?
Vancouver to Seattle.
Oh, got
So
it.
the
Is that
car,
not
we
what-
just
I'm
wanted to have our
retarded.
car
That makes
No, no,
sense.
because we
I
have
can
our
explain that.
dogs and yeah.
We had our
yeah.
dogs, so we had to
So
put the
it
dogs.
was a
Got
lot
it.
of coordinating.
Yeah, it was a lot
No,
of
no,
coordinating.
but I am because in my mind I was like the only place to cross from Canada is like legitimately. My brain was like the one place you can.
Oh, because of Toronto.
So stupid.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we were in Vancouver, so we were
Like my
Seattle
brain was
side.
like the only way to get into America from Canada is across the fucking waterfall.
Or fly to Mexico.
Yeah. Or exactly, yeah, you can fly, and then they're like,
wait,
right in.
You thought Niagara Falls?
No, absolutely. In my brain for that minute, I was like, you were driving into New York. Why wouldn't you just
He watched
fly
me,
to
myself, and Irene one time. He was like, I know where Canada is.
There's one place
I know.
in Canada.
I've seen Bruce Almighty.
Exactly. All of the people
understand.
live in Toronto, and then there's Moose, right?
Yeah.
Like
That's what everyone in
And
Toronto
Eskimos.
thinks.
That's true. Toronto, or what is it? Toronto.
What?
Everyone but Toronto. What is this? The T-shirts everyone wears in Toronto.
I don't know.
I don't
haven't lived there. You grew up there.
I know.
Yeah.
Damn it. I don't know. I forget. But yeah, Toronto's
abandoned
like
your people.
they definitely are the top dogs.
Yeah.
So how long after moving
They
here
got
did you
Drake?
guys stop doing the fake accents?
Oh, you don't really? You don't think you pick it up anymore?
People tell us we do.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
A lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Or California,
Fargo.
weirdly, and then like we're so pale.
Yeah.
Doesn't make
We
any
look like
sense.
narcs. That's why.
That's true. That is 100% true.
That's
we
funny.
look like we're gonna ask people for their vaccination status. We look like
Yeah.
we don't look comfortable here yet because we don't have guns.
So what was?
We're working on it. Not yet.
Well, it's just. Do you guys need some?
Yeah, sure. I'll have one. I probably
Oh my
do.
god, it's probably so hard to get one as a Canadian down here.
So.
Oh, we keep a barrel of unregistered firearms
Yes.
in the back. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Oh,
right
that's
behind this curtain.
Nice. Freedom, baby.
That's what the curtain's there for.
Nice.
The guns made a weird backdrop. We decided it didn't fit the motif.
No.
So how bad
Who
was
taught you the word motif?
my dad?
Yeah, you have a fantastic vocabulary, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My dad was a English professor, so I
that
have no
makes
choice.
sense.
Yeah.
You were
so,
so
you
good
drop
with the
them in
writing
there,
group.
but you drop them in conversation, and like the way you say it in a conversation, I understand it. So it's a word I never heard before, but it's like you're in a conversation and you don't stop it. It's like I'm getting explained to you explain it to me like I'm 5.
nice. I think that's the reality of my father being an English professor and
yeah.
me having a GED. That's I didn't graduate high school. That's why. Because I know how to dumb everything down for me and then say it to other people.
So your dad's just always teaching.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
That's awesome.
So, what was the? Oh, how
question.
bad was it? How bad did you experience it before you left? Because I know I have a couple other friends that are still there, and it was obviously real communist. Another year or so into it.
Wasn't allowed to do any stand-up shows.
Okay.
As soon
That
as
was off and on.
No. Well, as soon as they said, "What's your vaccination status?"
Oh, right,
It was like,
yeah, then you're not allowed.
you're just off.
Uh-huh.
You're off, and then everyone on the
You're not allowed in the
everyone on the
place either.
forums,
You're not allowed in the
everyone on the
venue, and
forums
you're
are
out
like
of the
saying you're
scene.
selfish, you're gross, and it's just like, I am healthier than 95% of you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
It's like, how dare you say I'm unhealthy and you're giving me health advice?
Yeah.
You fucking slobs. But well, I didn't say it to them, but.
But you meant it.
Yeah,
should.
yeah. It's just like you
It was
can't
true.
pick fights with everybody. So it's just okay. Well, that's the line that's drawn. And Rebecca's faced more. Like
Yeah, because then you'd be them.
you faced worse, like with women, or you lost to friends, right? You guys were doing a show together.
I feel like
Don't
I've
wanna name
kind
drop.
of gotten some of them back.
Well, Tara.
Yeah. There's a few that were dropped off for sure.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm a Nazi, obviously.
Yeah.
No.
Clearly. Yeah.
But
Yes,
they.
you admit it.
yeah.
And that's step one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
Well,
you get the vaccination.
But what was funny
we
was
got-
She was. So her friend was
I'm
pregnant.
gonna keep doing that bit. I'm gonna keep reaching under
Her
your
friend was
things.
pregnant and didn't want Rebecca to be around her because of the baby.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna give it to her.
Yeah.
And that's the way. That was the craziest part of
independent
it. It was like
ideas.
if you're not vaccinated, you are COVID.
Yeah, you're gonna hurt my baby. And the irony is like, who knows what's gonna happen when
Yeah.
when that baby.
Yeah,
You
good
know what I
luck.
mean? Like,
Good
Oh, it's
luck.
fine. Oh my god. But we had when we were doing stand up, it was like funny because at first it was legal because talking was okay, just singing was bad. But then 2 weeks later, after we were doing it,
If you hold a note, the COVID can get out. If you break it up,
no, if you're talking, it's
You're
just
like,
not
up,
projecting
up.
as much, you know.
you're
And
keeping
then
it in.
and then so talking was legal, but then 2 weeks later
Did
they
you
were
have
like,
the mic condoms?
No, they said
we had
that-
condoms.
Fuck that
Yep.
shit. Those
they
suck.
said that yes, we did, but they said that the laughter spread it, so then it became illegal.
Yeah.
So laughing was illegal.
but-
in Canada.
so obviously they hadn't seen any of your shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah.
They gave us all that bullshit in my hometown in Fredericksburg, Virginia, too, where I was hosting open mics. I mean, one week it would be okay. Like we had to do the 2 weeks to stop the spread, and then things slowly started to open back up. But it was under all these weird stipulations. So you could operate a bar as long as you served food, right? So that's when all the clubs started turning from a club into a bar that also serves food, because we have a food truck out front, and they had to do all those weird things. And then we could do an open mic, but it had to be with a condom on the microphone.
Yeah. We had
and
those
then
too.
You could do an open mic, but
behind glass. Did you have some of those? We had some of those, like glass.
Really?
Like a
plastic
glass box
hanging down. Yeah.
I remember people at the grocery store, like cashiers and stuff, setting up those big giant. Some of them are still up around the world, around Texas. People
right where we are, for sure. They're still around.
Fucking so weird.
Yeah.
The first couple of times I went back, so I was in California for the first year of it. And it sounds like we had a pretty similar experience.
Yeah, that would be similar. Yeah.
But it was, I mean, the first couple of times I went back there, I think last year was the latest I went back, and there were still screens up in some places.
Well, when we drove down initially, it was pretty funny because it was like Seattle was like still masks, like, you know, everything up. Depressed, and then you get like lower down. San Fran was so sad because I remember going there in the past, and it was amazing.
So I was just below San Francisco.
San Jose, like it's such a cool spot, and it's bumping.
An amazing place, and
it looked really sad.
So the reason that I moved there was because that gave me access to 3 comedy scenes: San Jose, Oakland, and San Francisco. And actually, for a little while until COVID. Santa Cruz had a smaller but a pretty active comedy scene as well. So I had 4 cities within less than an hour driving. That was the reason that I went there and started. And I literally got my first booked gig, like my first paid gig, on the Friday before the Monday of the shutdown. And that day I was like, oh, this is happening. I was like 4 months into it. I was like, oh, I'm like, this is it. You know what I'm saying? Because up until that point, it's still like, you know what I'm saying? You're doing open mics. You're like, I want to do this, but I don't know if it's actually going to happen. But I was like, oh, fuck, I'm getting paid to do comedy.
That's so exciting.
They were like, no, you're not.
And you can't do it for a while.
But we tried to do a lake mic. We tried to do all kinds of outdoor stuff, and cops would show up.
Yeah.
Like somebody called and saw more than 5 people collected together, and the cops would show up and shut us down. It was fucking insane.
Oh, yeah.
I was hosting 3 shows a week, and I was just getting to a point where I could pay my rent with comedy, and then they shut it down.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's fucked.
That really
And then I had to start doing tree work again.
I think I'm old.
You were happy?
Yeah.
You were real happy about that?
Oh, yeah. Chainsaws in the sun. It's a good time.
Yeah. I think I'm a bit old. How old are you guys?
I'm 40.
40?
Yeah. I'm 32.
32, okay.
How old are you?
37.
Okay.
I'm like almost 32 in March.
Almost. She turns in March.
31.
Yeah, so I was, oh man, that's what I mean. So like I was just getting to the middling part, and then I had House of Comedy. You guys have him down here, Rick Bronson.
Yeah.
So I was gonna middle. I had my option, so I was like, just start a middle. I was hosting and then emceeing the club in Vancouver, and then they gave me an option. So this is what you have. You can do Tim Dillon or you can do Chris DeStefano, and then I picked because all her friends are gay guys, and I thought Chrissy D would want to hang out with them because they're Latin and like he'd bring his girlfriend. So I picked that one, and then Tim Dillon was the day before all the clubs shut down. It was just like, fuck. So I could have had a cool credit. I could have had cool credit. First one, and it was like, fuck. Should have picked Tim Dillon.
And Tim Dillon's my idol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that sucked.
Well, you two look a lot alike.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Both gay slobs.
Yeah. I just need Versace glasses.
But that was tough. It was just, but then, because like, I don't think clubs, well in Canada, I don't know what it is on here, but in Canada, like clubs don't really make that much money because they're only open for a few hours a day. They don't really sell like much food. So that COVID just wiped them all out. So we had a good scene in Vancouver. We had good clubs. It was a small scene. It was very easy to get material out. And then I was filming as well. So headliners coming into town, like I would film their sets, and like I always had like how you guys came over to my place. I had a workshop going on. So I got notoriety from always filming headliners because I would make it look really good on camera, and they'd want to submit to Netflix. So the owners of the club would be like, hey, this guy films, hit him up. And I always tell them, hey, if you just come to my workshop, I'll take a bunch of money off and just we'll help you guys with one-liners because like when you come to a new city, you just want to roast the shit out of the city.
Yeah.
So then you have like 10 comics say, hey, and especially in Vancouver, where it's like, hey, you got to make fun of the Chinese. Just like, so just like they're coming out of the gate, make fun of the Chinese, and the Chinese love it because like everyone's too scared to do it because it's all PC up there. But like
they do.
So that's how I was just getting already with filming and then getting people to come in because we had this tight knit community, and then COVID hit and everything shut down. Like the comedy clubs just shut down and like. The restaurants that would put on comedy shows, they were getting fined for putting on comedy shows.
Some of them would try and they would do it, and then some of them would take like, because instead of taking your card or like scanning your like, I don't know if you guys had like a card to scan with your identity on it and your status. But if you didn't,
we had paper cards.
Oh,
so
okay.
We had an app.
So we had like this app, and so if you
Nuts.
so
I got a picture on
if
my
you
phone.
didn't get it scanned, like if it didn't work, so some of the places they would just take puppy pictures. So you just put a picture of a puppy up on your phone, and they'd be like, yeah, because they were like part of the rebellion. Yeah, and so those ones got away with that for a little while, but then they did get eventually shut down and fined.
Fuck.
And as a small business owner, I was pissed because I was like paying insane taxes to hire that guy with the clipboard for whatever the hell, $100 an hour, who knows, to just shut down my friends' businesses. And then I was like, because I actually was, like, Canada's very heavily taxed and everything, but I was actually, like, really proud. I was actually proud to pay taxes and feel like I was contributing as a business owner. And then after that, I was like, hell no.
Well, yeah, because you see where it goes now. It's like when you
see it instantly happen.
If you can see where the money goes, and you're like, okay, this is a functioning society,
and it's too much too.
Fine.
Yeah.
Then it just starts to get unreasonable.
Like I go to the doctors every time I hurt myself playing hockey. Don't have to worry about it. Sick being able to go to the doctors, but now there's just such a log jam. The health system's fucked. I mean,
my friend had a brain tumor, and that was called not emergency.
Because anybody can just go anytime they want. It's much more.
No, because of COVID, because they backed everything up. So like,
and a lot of people quit because it was too much, and it was like they were overworked all the time, and.
So they've lost people and obviously all of the backlog with the COVID shit and
with the surgeons.
And also doctors don't make enough there because here there's no ceiling, and like that means if that's why every good plastic surgeon comes here, and well, not everyone, we still have really good ones, but it's just something that a lot of them move unless they have a family.
How much is there a cap though? Like, are they? Like, is a surgeon still making good money there?
Actually, a plastic surgeon is still good, I think, and they make good money, but it's like doctors.
Well, plastic surgeon, because that's
different. That's separate. Yeah, you're right.
Outside of healthcare, right?
You get great plastic surgeons.
But there's loopholes, so you have to. So in Canada, they're going to tax. If you're a doctor, they're going to tax you 50% or maybe more of your wages. And well, usually like most people get taxed over 30% of their wages, like no matter
and then as a business owner, you get
like if you're
I would say
it's
close to 70, honestly, if you
really
do the math. If you really do the math.
Yeah.
If you think about gas and
so
if you use carbon now, there's a lot of tax.
There's carbon tax.
Everything's
just taxed. Trudeau's an idiot. He's a fucking idiot.
But the thing is that he's helping the planet. He's helping.
He's gonna freeze.
He was actually our first subscriber.
He's gonna love that Eli episode,
which is why we don't love all of this Trudeau. He's kind of friend of the podcast.
He's a pretty cool guy.
He's a big sponsor.
Who does he have opposing him there?
This guy Pierre Polyev.
It's actually just him and brownface.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of. It could be actually.
That's true, because the guy who he's in bed with on the other side is a guy who has a turban and is brown. That's pretty funny. That's
legit.
And they are in cahoots. So there's 3 parties in Canada.
We just started a conspiracy. Yeah. We started a Canada conspiracy.
So American of you.
I love that. That makes me happy.
A conspiracy?
Yes.
Yeah. So it just got exhausting, so we left.
Yeah, and like I listen, America's awesome. It has its faults, but it's just like what's amazing.
Built it with my own 2 hands.
Yeah,
right.
Well, yeah, like you're a part of it. Like it's like
what
I love about America is that there's.
You gotta keep him motivated.
You're slouching.
And then he's like, am I?
Show me harder. Show me harder how much I'm slouching. I never slouch for you. I always stand up straight and tall and proud.
That's awesome.
Pride.
Well, what I was saying with like America, it's just you guys don't have a ceiling. So you can be the best version of yourself. Like there's no one even saying that you can't do that here. Like you can be like a star. Whatever you want to be, you can accomplish here in America. But also, there's no safety net.
Yeah.
So you can meet a very bad
That's the
end.
trade-off.
Yeah, you can jump from as high as you want.
Yeah, it's just like something bad can happen to you at any moment, at any time in America. But also, all your wildest dreams can come true. And that's what's beautiful about this country.
For a lot of people, both simultaneously.
Yeah, true too. Yeah. I have lived a dream and a nightmare at the same time. Yeah. Just in the past 3 years.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, but it's like in Canada, it just feels like everything's boring and safe. Like even our comedy scene was just like it's so small and condensed that it's just
Okay, so I'm making.
it's not that competitive. Like
I'm
down here,
making
it's like
notes for
everyone's
if I
so
ever
good.
get JFL, make fun of the Chinese, right?
In Vancouver, yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see.
Oh
JFL
man, I lost
might-
like 10, as soon as I moved down here, I lost like 10 minutes of material. It's just like, it's like nobody gets like Chinese
You look around,
references.
you're like, none of you.
They all were not getting it.
Can't see any of you out there.
That is not the
No, is that
material.
not? That's not it.
Uh,
But
Yeah,
your
not
Mexican
here.
material is through the roof now.
Yeah, I feel
to start building
That's
it.
true.
Yeah.
I went to a fucking gas station on the way over here to get petrol, and it was
Wow, is that what we're doing?
it was
Huh?
it was a
From
goddamn.
Canada, not.
Well, I already said
Great
gas station,
Canada.
so I didn't want to say gasoline. I didn't feel like saying fuel. I said petrol. I'm sorry.
Was there a lube?
I
at the
want him to
petrol
compliment
station?
my vocabulary as well.
I was gonna say.
I'm smart too. My dad was not.
I also have a GED.
Yeah, I have a GED.
He's using ChatGPT under the table.
What is good word? But it was a goddamn casino for lottery
What does
tickets.
motif mean?
It was like a Mexican casino for lottery tickets.
I'm gonna break that.
Dude, they had 150 different lottery. They didn't have like the little cases with the lottery tickets in it, the numbers. They had 3 HD TV screens that was just corner to corner rows of each lottery ticket.
I didn't know about
1
that
through
stereotype.
150. They had 150 fucking lottery tickets.
I didn't know there were that many types.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Wow.
It was
Yeah, I've
fucking
noticed that. It's very
insane.
popular. So they're allowed to win the lottery here, like illegals. You can just anybody can win the lottery here.
Well,
I don't.
Yeah,
think
I don't know.
so.
I
you
said
can-
that
I
they
don't
were
know that you
Hispanic.
can-
I said Mexican, but
I
I don't
don't
know that
think
you
you
I
can.
didn't say they
cash
were
it in.
illegal.
I don't
it
think
was
you
an
can.
assumption.
Yeah.
Well, it was a check cashing place, I assume, right? Because I assume at the
That's-
check cashing place, and that's
Sorry,
what.
that's-
What?
No, you're doing your math right. You're doing your math.
It was a taqueria and a check cash.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of check cashing places here.
There are. Yeah.
There are.
Is that- yeah, that feels very American. Yeah.
Like
I
in
didn't
general,
realize,
or
but
like-
on the what was it? A couple episodes of Kill Tony ago, Esther, she dated him for a while. She was on the podcast or on
she
Kill
dated
Tony,
Tony?
and Red
Poor
Band,
girl.
which is crazy.
No wonder
But,
she's so broken. And
Uh,
Esther.
Pavinsky, she's kind of like smaller.
She was Trash Tuesday.
Yeah,
She dated-
Trash Tuesday. I know it's so
so.
random, right? Isn't it random?
Poor thing.
But she said that he
Holy
was
fuck,
cashing
like,
his
I've
checks
always
for a while.
felt a little bit of that sentiment towards her because she's so small and cute. Aw. But like, oh, you fucking,
She's broken.
you've been through it. God damn. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you.
That was Gabe realizing that he has
she
a
watches
chance.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
She's
Come on. Red Band?
Gabe's like, hold on, she's easy to manipulate? Okay, I'm listening.
Got this. I got this.
How old is she?
Yeah, I know how old she looks.
Very young.
17. Gabe's secret number.
It's not
There's a reason we keep it secret.
What was that? Favorite Beatles song? She was only 17.
because he says it on every episode.
I've always said
It's a
that
reoccurring
once.
thing.
I just say it to you every day on the phone, so you think it's on the episodes. You're getting the gym and the podcast mixed
Very
up.
similar. It's all very similar.
Yeah.
Locker
Well, there
room
is a gay
talk.
guy and a hot girl here, so yeah, it does feel a lot like the gym. Feels like Gold's
You
Gym.
gay, Tony?
We all
Just when he thought he was safe. Just when he
Yeah.
thought.
I think all three of us looked at each other like, who's he talking about?
No. I know who it is.
Is it us? Is it-
The only reason he's not nervous, he's just moving back and forth because Gabe keeps trying to put his foot between his crotch. So he's like, no, quit it. Stop. Silly. Hey, and that's America. Your wildest dreams can come true, you know?
Exactly.
We made it.
Yeah.
Finally.
I got a foot job on a podcast. I'm gonna tell my mom all about it. No, mom, it's okay. He has a GED.
His dad's an English professor.
Clearly, he knows what he's doing. I know how he got that GED.
Well, from the sound of it, GED is a lot better than whatever fucking education system y'all got going up there to let everything happen that's happened to you.
Here's
But we're like way smarter than you guys.
Kind of funny, but a legitimate.
Yeah.
That's what they think.
Do you obviously the outside of Canada, and I don't know if this is even something that you guys think about yourselves, but outside of Canada, obviously the reputation you have is being very nice.
Yeah.
As a rule, kind of like your
it
culture.
used to be that. It used to be that.
Do you?
Well, he's got red hair.
But do you think
so
that reality is what led you as a country to where you are now?
Yeah, probably.
Because everybody was too nice to say anything.
Maybe
you think
too
you got
comfortable.
pigeonholed into being nice?
I think because we paid so much taxes, we all thought we could trust our institutions because they've never failed us before. We've never had a president that's been assassinated before. We've never had a failed healthcare system where it's just like
personal. That seemed direct.
It is.
Sorry. We've never.
Ours have all lived.
We have
until
never
they
had
were
a
old.
field trip to Dallas here soon. You're gonna learn some history.
We did. I loved it. It was awesome.
Guess what? Yet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we never had that. We never had.
that was
Hear me, Drew?
that was ominous, Gabe.
Subscriber number 1.
Yeah. So we've never had any of that stuff where we never had like a Vietnam. So it's like we never had something where like our institutions have failed us.
Yeah.
So it's like that's when it happened, and people didn't want to.
And all at once.
All at once.
Right? Like
all
all of the institutions failed.
all at once, and nobody wanted to admit it.
Uh-huh.
So that's what kind of happened. So everyone's like, no, everything's fine. It's like the house is fucking burning down. You don't realize it. This guy's a fucking idiot. Like he's a drama teacher. He's a fucking drama teacher. And you think he's gonna
There's
handle
these
it?
funny hats that are like
But
red
also,
hats. They make
wasn't
Trudeau
his
a drama
dad
teacher again.
a fuck too?
His dad was prime minister. So his dad was.
But I'm
the
saying,
leader
like,
in the
didn't
70s.
his dad do some shady shit with?
Probably
like,
don't they all? I don't know.
He passed, but his
He was more
I know
respected.
obviously, I don't know a whole lot about Canadian history.
It's
but,
probably similar.
But I thought I remember reading specifically that his dad was the one who passed like the first something that changed significantly the amount of power that the government had.
Oh.
No, he enforced the Emergency Act. So like when Trudeau.
That's what it was. He enforced.
So his dad was the first one to do it.
Got it.
Oh,
Because
okay.
there was like
And
a
then he
shooting
did.
going on. I'm not too sure about that
Okay.
story. So then Trudeau did, and he froze everyone's bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
But he was kind of.
Okay.
He does.
So he was just the first one to use that
Yeah,
power.
but there's like the rumors of him being like his mom was a floozy. Like there's like the Rolling Stones were banned from Canada for a very long time because
they were all fucking his mom?
they had to get the Mountie police to go into
God.
Keith Richards' hotel room to get her.
That's so
And
fucking
it was like
amazing.
in the newspaper. So it was
She
like,
was
yeah.
well liked.
Well, she was hot. Like I mean, she
Yeah.
Like a nice lady.
yeah,
Yeah.
she had a nice set of
Like
gams
a
on her.
real nice lady.
But it was like that's like she's known to get around. So the whole thing is like Fidel Castro's your dad. It's like yeah, your mom got around, and Fidel was handsome. Like he's
It could be
like, he was
very
handsome back in the
true.
day.
That's funny because I remember
could be.
I remember reading that and thinking that was interesting, but that's a much like maybe he was because she was letting everybody fucking.
Yeah, cause well, it was the '70s too, so she liked experimenting with drugs. You know, disco was a thing, and
Yeah.
she was just going to those clubs doing coke.
Nobody
and
was
just
wearing
spreading her
condoms.
legs. Nobody wore condoms, and everyone's dick had sideburns.
The good old days.
The good old days.
I still don't wear condoms.
Yeah. And my dick still has sideburns.
I'm Catholic. I don't believe in them.
Exactly. I'm allergic to latex and sheepskin and any other thing that you try to put on my dick to prevent me from feeling the inside of your vagina or butthole.
Yeah, this is America.
Yeah, all my wildest dreams can come true.
And I can meet a bad end. That's what I'm talking about.
And if a mistake happens, I can't do anything about it.
Well,
Oh,
not in
the
Texas.
problem. Texas.
You ever heard of the Everglades?
California trip to Disneyland.
You ever heard of Galveston? You can fucking get it taken care of there.
Oh man, yeah. Well,
Thanks
those,
for shortening my ride, bud. I appreciate you.
yeah,
Jumping
that's
in the
true.
ocean.
Abortion is legal.
No,
in Canada. We never thought about it until we got down here. Until like it's such an issue here, because it's just like if you want to get it. Don't. But it's just like all the people scream. Like I thought I was on board with it. Like all the screams, like my body, my choice. But all those people screaming, "My body, my choice." It's just like, you look like you made terrible decisions with your body.
Terrible choice.
Yeah, like I wish you had been born.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
well,
that.
it's just like also no one's gonna have sex with you. It's just like
Yeah.
it's like if that's what you decide to do with your body, maybe you should let the government take the wheel.
That's fair. Yeah. How did a baby get in there in the first place? You know,
it
that's
never
the real
did.
question.
They're not having sex. They're just bored.
They just like the way the vacuum feels.
They want to be a part of something.
Yeah, it's just like
the family didn't love them, so they had to find a new family.
Exactly. Did their family not love them because they're ugly? Do you think?
Well, their family probably had a lot to do with that.
That's true. Their family's probably ugly too.
Maybe. But every once in a while, there's a duckling. You know.
That's true.
An ugly fuckling.
Oh yeah. Quit looking at me.
Why?
Do you have any brothers and sisters?
No, I'm an only child.
Yeah, same.
Are you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're
What about
brothers now.
Yeah,
I
there we go.
have 5.
We probably could get away.
5.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Where are you?
Like in the middle. Basically,
In the middle.
3 older, 2 younger.
Huh.
Yeah.
And what did they
Crazy.
become?
Fucking disappointments mostly.
Really?
No.
They didn't get their GED.
No, I think, and that's not true. Jeremiah also didn't get his. I don't know if he even got his GED. Anyway, but we're all over the place. Like one of my brothers runs a construction company in Sacramento. One of my sisters lives in Brooklyn. The oldest sister lives back in Georgia, where we all lived at one point. And then I got a brother in Boston, and then the other brother is fucking who knows. He's a wild card. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you keep in touch with them?
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's sweet. You always have a place to stay if you're traveling.
Yeah, I don't know that I would stay with any of them.
Well, do they have kids too?
Two of them do. Yeah,
Family get-togethers, family trips.
yeah.
We should plan a family trip. Like, let's go to like one of those Padre Islands? San Marco.
Padre Island.
Let's just rent a giant house there, South Padre Island, and just party it up. Just have a
We
good
keep
weekend
talking
there.
about camping trips and Renaissance Fair are 2 things that keep coming up on the podcast.
Oh yeah, there's a Renaissance fair right
Renaissance
nearby.
Fair very nearby.
That's
We've been thinking
right.
about
We haven't done that yet.
getting trashed on
You don't
psychedelics.
have Renaissance fairs in Canada?
They probably do.
No, we don't.
There must be one.
Well, that was something we saw in Florida, a swamp buggy race, which is
Oh my God,
just
that
like,
was awesome.
That was wild. That's just like
That's
a
unique
Southeast
to
together.
Florida.
We just assumed that that's what it was like in Canada. Like,
Yeah.
it was
What is
just
a
white
big
trash like in
Renaissance fair.
Canada?
Yeah.
Street hockey.
Similar.
Tell us about the horses you guys
Similar.
rode down.
So people playing
Yeah,
street
where's your
hockey
hat? What's going on with that?
I wore my Canadian tuxedo. It's just
You did do that. All right.
had jeans on.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, we have trailer parks in Canada. They just play street hockey there, just like in that.
It'd be like isn't there a
Trailer
whole
Park
show?
Boys.
Trailer Park Boys. It'd be like that.
That's basically what that's like. That's
Is that so? That's
That's
legit.
that's
Oh,
legit.
Yeah, that's, I
Yeah,
love that
I
shit.
think
that's
so.
like straight up
that show.
legit.
With my whole fucking heart.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
excellent.
From that time, now probably everyone's just on their phones.
Of course, that's
Inside.
a decade and a half ago, but yeah.
They're not like they don't know each other. They're just on their phones inside.
But
But yeah, that's true to
used to
form.
be.
Like you go to a trailer park in Canada, like that's literally like you'll see like a Ricky, Julian, and
amazing.
Bubbles. Definitely a Randy. Like you'll definitely see a Randy.
Like, yeah,
just
there's
a
probably
big
several
gut.
Randys.
It's
Yeah.
like that's what you'll see.
That's
Just
amazing.
out on the deck, drinking, smoking,
Yeah.
eating cheeseburgers, offering up blowjobs for cash.
Every neighborhood's got to have a Randy.
Every trailer park has a Randy. It's just
So
That's true. They're not neighborhoods. It's a different thing.
tell us more about coming from Canada. Did you guys have a story for us?
Oh,
today?
right. Sorry. Yeah, let's get to that one. So it's like we came through California. California was crazy because it's just like everything's shut down. And then we eventually get to
Portland, which is nice, right?
No, Portland was
How
awesome.
long were y'all in America once you crossed the border? How long were you here before you got to Austin?
2 weeks.
Well, we came down to we went
Was-
all the way through.
When did this become your goal?
Well, we came here because we were on vacation and we were just
going to
thinking about opening up a
Disneyland.
business.
Got it.
Yeah.
And
Disney World
then Disney World
in Florida.
and
Disneyland.
Land, all of it.
Disney World.
Yeah. And then we went all the way. So we kind of went.
Arizona
all the
is
way
when
down.
things started opening up.
Yeah,
So it's just
Arizona.
like,
The guy right away. The guy greets us. He's like, the election was stolen.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure.
He's like,
all right.
He's like, you're like, this is still California. Everyone's masked up. Everyone's terrified. Still, whole vaccine, very like, and then falling apart too. So crime, like, it's San Francisco.
There was an
terrifying.
extra crime fee in our hotel.
Yeah. There was.
They were like, you're in a safe space, so
you have
it's
to pay
more
more.
money. And I was like, okay. It was like an extra line item.
Yeah, location
What
fee.
the fuck?
Location fee. I was like, what does that mean? They're like, well, the thing is, people
That's
tend to not get
dystopian.
shot here,
That's
so
so
you have to pay
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
For
escaped
that service.
You won't die.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, but
Yeah, probably.
but were they using that money to pay for like armed guards?
Who
on the
knows?
No,
border?
not at
Nothing?
all.
No.
Just a
just in a
security
safer
guard on
place?
their phone, sitting on a chair.
Maybe they get taxed for being a safe area.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So we left that and we get to Arizona, and then my dad lives there, so like we have to like go through like this little area.
Tax. That would.
And then
That's
as soon as
probably
as soon as we
exactly
get
what
there,
it is.
The guy sees my Canadian
They're
plates.
gerrymandered into the safe tax area.
He sees my Canadian plates and he's not happy about it. He's just like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
Come here from Canada. And he's like, "You like it down here, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." Do you like your freedom? Yeah. Good. Let's keep it that way. I'm like, "Yeah, of course." He's like, "And you know Trump won the election, right?" I'm like, "Yes, sir."
We're like, let us through, please.
baby.
Like, this is
And
awesome.
Michelle has a penis, right?
Big Mike.
Let us through. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Thanks, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go, Brandon.
And then, so we drove from Arizona to through New Mexico, just blazed through New Mexico, and then our first intro into Texas was El Paso, and that's a border town.
Yeah.
So it's like everything
It's
there.
a weird town.
Everything there has bars on it. Like
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
it's crazy and
It's
scary.
fun, yeah.
It's like
It's
just like,
interesting, yeah.
this is wild.
Alfie had been driving for like.
What
I
is
mean,
that?
I drove a little, but he.
Yeah.
I was
But
mostly passenger.
you're driving
princess.
terrifies
That's cool
me.
that you guys have been
And-
from the West Coast border
Uh-huh.
of Canada, America, and then also
All
the
the
El
way
Paso
across.
border.
Yeah.
That's really
You
neat.
saw like half of the country.
We saw the landscape shift a lot.
It's
like,
really
it's
neat,
pretty
isn't it?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the
so
border
cool.
patrol just flying by, chasing everybody. They're working hard. Like it was like they're always just on. Like the lights are always on, riding around.
What is the contrast of El Paso border town to the Washington border town?
There's
I don't know actually.
That's very funny. So it's just like there's a space in the middle where loved ones were able to meet and like kiss and have a little get together. So it's like there's this little area between like Vancouver
Oh,
and,
right,
like a
that
little
area.
park
Yeah,
in
and
yeah,
Washington
yeah.
where it's like there's a little park where they just get together.
People
It's
were getting like married.
married
And they'd
and
set up a
like,
tent.
see relatives and stuff
Wow.
like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, it was like an adorable.
Yeah, there's like
place.
gazebos.
One anecdote. For what's the difference? Well, it's like, people are getting married on the border
Oh,
there.
yeah, there's
They
like
were dancing around in
gazebos. It's very
circles.
beautiful. Like there's the flower budget is like amazing. Like it's that alone. That's where our taxes are going to.
And then
Yeah,
No
well,
flowers.
we've seen El Paso. Yeah, we went to El Paso last year.
Yeah, we did show up.
Yeah, so we know. Yeah, it looks like a fucking Looney Tune or something.
And
which-
it's so and Tijuana is quite a place because there's parts of Tijuana that just look and feel like just an extension of America, but the other half of Tijuana is like a third world. It's insane.
Did you see a girl bang a donkey?
No, not yet.
Come on, let's do it together.
still time.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta tell my wife we're got another comedy show out in.
In Tijuana.
Oh, it'll be pure comedy.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some jokes. Yeah,
I'm assuming she doesn't watch this podcast.
No,
for her own health. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been driving most of the time, and then Rebecca's like, "Hey, let's park and like your
Like
tent."
his back's just like killing him, right? It's
Yeah.
a long drive, and so I'm like, you need
Yeah.
to get you need a massage. Like you absolutely need you need to take a rest here.
Yeah, and it's like El Paso, so like everything's closed. We get in like 8, and she's like, "Well, this place is open," and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, how many massage places are open at like 9?"
I was just like, it's 9 p.m. That's so convenient considering our situation. Let's it's like this is like our luck. This is awesome. Do you remember?
We-
I was like
like-
in the
oh,
hotel,
yeah.
just like awesome.
Yeah.
You're so innocent.
Yeah.
Naive.
Like, let's
we
go
get
for
there,
it.
just-
It's very
Yeah.
Toronto.
and it
Yeah.
says here they open at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Late.
They
It's
know
like you
what it's
can't
like to
get
be
in
a long
before
traveler
9
on a
p.m.
road.
Who needs massages at 1 a.m.? It's like
weary travelers.
So yeah.
So
Truck drivers and
accidentally.
Yeah, that was the top.
So
how many 18-wheelers were in the parking lot?
Not that many.
Not as many as I was hoping for.
No, they had a shuttle that goes back and forth.
Well, it was an empty parking lot. It was just blacked out. Like it's just blacked out.
But it's El Paso,
open.
so there's like a tumbleweed that goes by.
Then there's bars.
There's a coyote.
Bars everywhere.
So I said, okay, it's blacked out bars. It seems par for the course here. So we go inside. And then because we have a lot of rub and tugs in Vancouver. They're all run by Asians, so it's just like they're all just Asian rub and tugs there, and like so you
kind of this Latina rub and tug.
Yeah,
you can usually tell.
You can usually tell because it smells like cum and fried rice, in Vancouver, and it's just like. So we go.
So like my bedroom when I was 15.
Yeah, when he was 15.
way back then.
Yeah, a lot less fried rice.
So we go
Steam
in.
my rice now.
Smell a little bit of cum. Smell a little bit of cum. And then, but I don't want to say this. My wife, I don't want her to be like, I'm too tired to like tell half truths. So she's like, I don't want her to know like how do you know what a rub and tug is? So like I don't know. I'm just.
Is it also because Rebecca's doing a nice thing for you?
Yeah.
It's nice. She's like, come on, babe, you need a back massage.
Yeah, this is a rub and tug, and it's like, no. How do you know what a rub and tug is? Oh, I was young.
It was before I met you. Like the week before I met you.
Before we left.
You're the only one that likes me. So we go in, and it just kind of looks familiar.
It looks fine though.
It
was fine. They made us fill out like a form.
Yeah, they made us fill out a form. So I'm like, there's so many
where
mixed signals. So it's just like they made us fill out a form.
Like, that seems legit now.
So the form,
right?
like, okay, I'm relaxed, and then she's like, okay, pay up front. I'm like, okay, I'm backed up.
Yeah, and cash only.
And I'm like, what a deal.
So we go.
She's like, you want 5 or 10 minutes? And you're like, wait a minute, hold on.
Well, that's what she said. They're like, she's like, do you want an hour? I'm like, no, half hour. Like, so like, I just know it's like, I'm just so like tense because it's just like you can get deported for that stuff. So like, I don't want that to happen. Obviously.
That's another element. I just hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah,
so
if I get busted in there, it's like I got to pay a fine and it's awkward, right?
Yeah.
But you got
to tell the wife.
You got to go back to
awkward.
Yeah.
Gotta call it. Can you come pick me up? They'll never guess what happened. I was just going for a leisurely massage, and all of a sudden,
you know El Paso, babe.
Well, yeah. So. She's like, yeah, come on, that's good. And then she was pushing 60. She's like, you need 60. I'm like, no, half hour. Like, I have a feeling. So I go in. She goes in her own room because she's getting one as well. So like as soon as I go in, there's a shower. I'm like, fuck. And then the towel is like a fucking washcloth. So like I'm like, all right. So I go put it on, and then just like a knock on the door, and it was like this old Chinese lady. She like was like fat, and like she had like she was kind
frail at the same time.
Yeah, well, like her touch was. She didn't have those strong Asian hands.
She had very thin arms, weirdly.
Yeah. She was just like
it's just frail.
And she was kind of balding, like the first season of Michael Scott. Like it's
not treated well.
Yeah, so she's like 60. And I look at her, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, so this probably isn't a rub and tug. So it's like, she just looks so terrible.
You're like, this fucking better not.
Yeah, like, she looks terrible. Like, they saw who I came in with. Like, it's just like
they're probably so confused.
And she's a Chinese lady. And then I'm just trying to do small talk. So I'm like, where are you from? She goes, San Jose. I'm like, oh, sure. Okay. Okay. And then, so like, she starts a little bit, and then she rips my towel off. I'm like, oh shit. So like I grab it back. I'm like, no. And then, but like she kept persisting. Like she just kept rubbing me and like trying to go up my legs. And I'm like, no, like it's like, well, it serves me right because on the forms I circle my cock. So, that is fair. No, but I circled like my, upper, like everything was like around the head because I was just worried about this. So like she just kept trying to take the towel. I'm just holding it down.
White knuckling.
Just white knuckling.
Get raped by this fucking rub and tug lady.
She's grabbing it.
She really likes her job.
Well, she didn't speak any English.
And then I came from the front.
Yeah, it was just like because like I was.
So this is the story you've told.
Yeah. Well, I was worried about.
Well, I saw who came out of there. I would have been shocked if he went for it.
I'm worried. Like, what the hell is going on in her room?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's just
He's worried about me too. and meanwhile, she's doing a pretty convincing job for me, but she just keeps brushing my labia with her nail by like almost like as if it's like
nice
as she's going, and I'm like, is that on purpose? Because that's like I'm like still fully convinced that this is a massage, and I'm like, this is the worst massage of my life. And then I'm also like, that is so awkward. Because
12 times.
No, it was not 12. It was maybe like it was just enough that I was like, it could be accidental. So I had no idea.
Yeah, I wish mine was that subtle.
Yeah, no, she actually did some stuff. You did unlock some pressure on your end. You got more pressure than when you went in.
I walked in more tense because she kept trying, like I was trying everything to get her to stop. Like just, I don't know. I thought no was universal, but she told me she was from San Jose, so I kept going, no bueno, no bueno. Like I was just trying everything. Like just stop it. Like she was trying, like I was like, okay, work up here, and then she'd work up. And then eventually she kept trying, like going down. And I'm like, no, back up, hold the towel. And it was like a game she was trying to play, but like.
She probably wanted her bonus.
She probably started fucking when she was fucking with you.
Yeah, a boner.
Well, because they work on tips, so like want to get. She's trying to get those tips.
Well, they start
like it's just like But I think that's what it was like because they probably don't get paid much because it was very cheap.
Yeah.
That's why she picked it. I think.
That's why I was like, what a bargain!
Oh,
and at the hour we need.
And they're open late. Oh, dear God.
It's not like they came to the front in heels, and they definitely looked like they could be massage therapists.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they did not look like sexy whatsoever.
No, they were not.
Like, I don't even know if there wasn't a low cut top, nothing like that.
No, well, the thing is, like, she looked.
So you think the dark windows weren't because it was a rub and tug? It's because of who was in the rub and tug.
Yeah. Maybe once you walk in, you can't like insult them. You have to keep going.
Yeah.
It's too late. You're in here now.
And we also booked ahead. Like, I booked ahead. Like, thanks. Like, we'll be on our way shortly. And they're probably like, send out these guys. They haven't gotten a tip in months. And then she's just like,
like we got their best, probably. That's the sad part.
Well, I don't know if we got their best.
Well, anyway, so like she works on one spot.
What night of the week was it?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. I don't know.
Thursday. No, I don't know.
It's important.
Yeah, that's probably true.
If it was Tuesday night, I get why you might have got that lady.
No,
Friday night, I feel like they gotta have.
No, I think it was a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday.
It was a weekend. I think it was
because we got to Austin.
It was a Saturday?
I think it was a Saturday because we got to Austin on a Monday. My birthday was on a Tuesday.
Yeah. That's right.
So it was, so like, that was the most tense I've ever been because I'm worried about her. I'm like, she's probably getting molested, kidnapped. Who knows what's going on over here? I got fucking General Mao over here just going hard on me. It was just fucking thinning hair. Like a woman with thinning hair should not be working at a rub and tug.
No. Yeah.
She should be washing the sheets at the rub and tug. Like it was like
maybe that was the case.
Why did you get a girl that was like with nails and the labia stuff and it was just like full set of hair?
I don't know.
You don't think your girl had any labia?
Huh? Probably very droopy. But I was awkward. So like she finishes. She did one spot on my shoulder. I'm very tense, and I just put my clothes on. I start banging on her door. I'm like, Rebecca, you okay? Rebecca, you okay? Rebecca, you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. What's up? I'm like, we gotta go. Get your shit. Let's go. She's like, oh, I just need to go to the bathroom first. I'm like, let's go.
I come out. I see his face. He's just like. What happened to you?
Power smoking. Like, what happened in there?
What happened to you? Are you okay? Like, what happened to you? I was like, why? What happened to you? I was like, I mean, it was like probably the worst massage of my life. Like, it wasn't anything good.
Like, it was so cheap.
It was kind of crap, and like, she was kind of awkwardly touched me, like, just breezed by. But other than that,
she wouldn't commit.
And then he's like, that was a
what an awkward car ride, because that's not just like on the way home
that I was
after
in a
that.
stirrup, but other than that, it was.
But I thought it was like a Taiwanese thing. Yeah, no. So
yeah, there's a lack of boundaries. It's just a Taiwanese thing. that's how they roll in San Jose.
Yes, yeah, correct. Yeah, that's how they do it.
And yeah, so that's how I accidentally.
How
hired
long
a
did
sex
you guys
worker.
not make eye contact for after that?
No, we made eye contact. I was very upset. I'm like, Rebecca, that was fucked up. Like something bad could have happened. Like you could have gotten kidnapped. Cops could have came in.
Yeah, it's like it didn't. So.
And like I would have had like my only defense if the cops came in, like, listen, I would never let this touch my penis. My wife is in the other room. Like
I'll
that,
show her to
like,
you.
that's the only defense I would have had.
I'll be like, I'm so sorry. I just thought it was so convenient. They tricked us. They did.
Here's the thing.
It was a bargain.
Like the assumption that
I found a Groupon.
Texas cop would have had about a Canadian is like, oh, they don't know.
Yeah.
They never heard of these. They got them up there.
Oh yeah.
And he was talking about Asians.
Yeah. That's not a Mexican.
Not knowing that the population is like 75% Asian. Yeah.
And then we just kept driving down the road, and there was like 14 more massage places light up.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did look like they were better. But I mean, they couldn't have been worse. Like, we really went to the worst one.
I think we did. I think we did.
I didn't even get a good massage. Like,
I don't think that's what it was for.
You guys didn't compare?
No. Well, you got your labia touched. It was probably better than mine. I mean,
you could have got yours touched, but you were fighting
like,
it.
It was because you have to turn over and look at them. So like that would have been tough. Like it'd be like just.
They didn't have the hole in the
massage table, not like the movies.
The old under. So you guys can role play this whole thing.
Do it the right way.
Do it the right way.
Let me do
you're
it.
From San Jose.
You don't speak English. You have a Chinese accent.
You will not give up. You really want a tip.
Yeah, that was probably the craziest thing ever, and I don't really. That was a weird experience.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, like, even with rub and tugs, I always feel like, because they do massage you first, but it's always tense first. I always feel like they should do the tug first and then the massage, then the rub, because you're nice and relaxed, as opposed to like the anticipation.
You should have stayed long enough to get them feedback.
That's what I should have wrote.
I mean, typically.
That's what I like. Hey, do the tug, then the rub.
I think the idea is to play the game, right? Like
it's to play the game, yeah. But it's like you have to have someone that knows how to play the game, not that just some.
Well, you got to have somebody who's good at the rub as well as the tug.
Yeah.
Because you can't just jump right to it.
Yeah. That's true. I didn't know.
Dry tug.
Not everybody's coming in there for a tug. Some people don't know better and they just want to rub.
Yeah.
They were very confused about that though. Like, are you sure you don't want me to touch your dick? Like she was like, she'd whisper in my ear. She'd go in my ear. Are you sure you don't want me to touch?
You're like, yes.
Are you sure? Like, yes.
But it was your dick. She was like, are you sure?
What about you?
He says no. Are you sure?
No, that was very intense. Then I had to drive the next day another 14 hours to get to here.
Yeah.
Have you gotten a massage since?
Well, she's taken me to like these Thai massages where like just fuck me up.
Oh, Thai massages are brutal.
Yeah.
But they're also the best.
Yeah, I think I'm
a good massage.
I think I'm getting this nice, oily, relaxing massage. This girl comes in, makes me put on a karate outfit, and they just like they fold me in half.
I told you it would be painful.
I didn't know. It's just like, they get knots out.
It's like extremely painful.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it is very big.
They fold you in half. They like crotch you a bit to pull your legs up. Like they mess you up.
But then after you feel amazing.
I didn't.
Disagree. Completely.
I felt terrible.
No, after you feel like you were tortured.
Yeah.
Because you were.
Oh.
Yeah.
After you're like so limber, you could do a cartwheel out there.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, I feel like I went toe-to-toe with an Olympic wrestler, and I had like zero training. It's just like I didn't know how to grapple.
I legitimately,
my stomach hurts
I've only had one, and I legitimately got out of it. Like, I felt like maybe I had done something to this woman before. You know,
like she was mad at you.
Me coming in, and she was like, "Oh yeah," like she was trying to hurt me.
She took out some aggression on you. She was working some shit.
She did some shit to my legs that I don't think I've ever recovered from. My hamstrings are still a little weird from that.
Well, it was because we got it in the same room. So my girl,
Are you supposed to hear a tearing sound? Is that supposed to be?
So my girl, her girl, and Rebecca were all laughing at me because I'm screaming in pain.
Yeah.
They're all, very flexible. Oh, your wife fine. Why are you no fine? Your wife laugh.
No, I did not. I hate it. That's
He's just like,
Swedish is the massage. That's the one you want.
Yeah, Swedish touch. Yeah. Nice deep massage by a Swedish woman.
And here there's a girl that she uses her feet. She climbs up on you and
That's what the one.
They're
Yeah,
amazing.
the Thai massage I got. Was
Okay.
That was.
And you didn't like it.
No,
That's so
she
stupid.
dug
It's
her
the
heels
best.
into my like
Exactly.
she separated the muscle from the bone.
That's what you want.
It's not. It's supposed to be attached.
That's what she tries to tell.
I hate it when it's
woman
attached.
Just climbs up on a ceiling and just stomps on your back.
Yes.
You're gonna love it. I'm like, that sounds
That's
terrible.
awful. Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm like, it killed me.
We have different.
I got caught in a giggle loop, dude. My fucking.
And it's just like, I just want like a regular massage. Can we just go to one of those? Where it's just
Did
like,
we in Austin or no? Once we got to Austin, did
do
you?
want
no, I don't know if we
Massage,
have
no.
yet. No, not yet in Austin. No. So
we
it's
have in Austin.
Going to the
since-
gym as much
Which
as
one
we
I've
do,
done?
we should
Oh
start.
no, we
just
have.
that
Yeah, we have
skinny
one.
Yeah. But the
Massages.
it was whatever.
Well, I mean, I'm a dude. All I need is like a foam roller
No,
at
I get
times.
massages.
You do? Good.
Where?
At my house.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you're saying you have a wife that you're in love.
No, I'm saying my wife makes a lot of money and we have a person masseuse that comes to our house once a
Oh,
Fuck
nice.
yeah, dude.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's sick.
That's the
Good
best.
for
Yeah.
you.
month. I know. That's the reason we haven't talked about it before. Scott.
Oh, that's awesome.
You really rubbed that one in. Ouch.
I was trying not to. I was trying so hard not to. Like, we need to get massages. Yeah, one of us does.
Oh, I didn't mean like together. I'm just saying.
No, of course not. Me either. Why would you?
All right. Take it
He's
back.
gonna cry.
I'm already in tears, dude. I'm so high. Finish the rest of your story to Austin, please.
Well, then.
Well, after I accidentally hired a sex worker for Alfie.
It was a quick trip to Austin.
Yeah, we went to
Yeah,
Austin.
mostly gas pedal.
And we were kind of staying like 1 to 3 days in every place, and then in Austin we just really liked it, and so we extended it by another week. Right? We were like here for about 2 weeks.
What I would recommend to anybody moving to Austin from a nice place like your coasts that are like aesthetically beautiful, stop off in El Paso first. And then come to Austin.
Okay, no, that's solid.
Because then it's
That
like,
is solid advice.
this is beautiful.
Then you're like, oh, this is nice.
This is nice,
Okay,
yeah.
that's fair. Yeah.
That's true. Austin isn't really beautiful, I
No.
would say, but it's so fun.
It
and
is
it's
fun.
so cool, and it just
Yes.
was like immediately we felt, I don't know, it was like we were like, oh, we really like it here, and it wasn't just because Joe Rogan said to move here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
it's
he,
like,
but he did.
But it was
he
part
did
of it.
Yeah. Well,
Big part. Why
This
most
is the
of us
only
are.
one saying not.
I mean,
Otherwise,
Joe
we
Rogan
might have stopped in
calls you to
Dallas.
tell you to move to Austin, Texas. You
we did say get the hell out of Canada, so we did like
that is fair.
It was kind of cool that Canada was being referenced at all, and like I don't
You're
know,
like,
I felt
finally,
like
all we had to do was be Nazis.
yeah. All I had to do was be in peril. That's how I was just like became really, really like Tim Dillon was like very important to me during those years because he was just like actually talking about it and making it feel like, oh my God, I'm not insane, even though everyone, including my friends, is telling me that I am.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, we loved Austin and it was so fun, and that was when Rainy Street was still there, and it was that like we stayed near Rainy Street and it was super fun, and yeah, it's just exciting before the mothership and everything, but it was like, you know, everyone was talking about it was going to come up, and
Yeah, well, it's been really sweet here. So like we kind of had to like restart, or well, I have just restart comedy in general. It's just, but it's been fun because it's just like I love the energy here because it feels like you know in the '90s where I had that grunge scene coming up, where it's like there's like this scene that's just exploding. But like here in Austin,
That's
it's just
true.
like there's like it's not the same type of music. Like there's just different type of comedy here, and like I've just been loving the vibe here because everyone that moves here is like brand new. So it's like they always say it's harder for an adult to make friends. But like here, it's like everyone's just new, so they're forced to make friends.
Exactly. Yeah, everybody needs friends.
Everyone
Yeah.
needs
Yeah.
friends, and it's like you have that base layer of like Southern hospitality. That's just the base layer of what everyone here has. So it's like that's what everyone's kind of adopting. Like we're cosplaying that, so we're trying to be hospitable, even though it's against some of our
not
Canadians, but like Californians are having to do it as well. They're cosplaying being nice.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of
not most of them.
Not most of them.
Some of them.
Some of them too, and it's like even like it's also like Texas, like it's a very gay friendly place. Lesbian gay. I've never like.
Well, Austin's gay friendly.
Is, yeah.
Yeah, very lesbian gay friendly. The only places where
it's really important to Alfie.
Big fan of lesbians.
Yeah. Well.
Oh yeah. America-wide, that's a huge part of our culture. In case you guys didn't know, lesbians.
Yeah.
Oh, lesbians. Yeah.
It's
also what this podcast is about.
Lesbians.
Yes.
Nice.
Feminism and lesbians.
Feminism, lesbians.
I've noticed that so far.
Thank you.
Scissoring.
That's why we look like lesbians.
Yeah.
And then we went.
Lesbians.
And then we just, I don't know, we liked that vibe right away.
Yeah, I love that
vibe.
vibe.
Super exciting. And then we lived in Florida for, I don't know, 7 months, something like that.
Oh yeah.
And
So
then we loved
Florida
it.
for 7 months in Naples till we
Just
got
figuring
everything
it
sorted
out.
out to come over here.
Yeah.
So that was tough. Because we were in Naples, that was old people stuff, so we couldn't do any comedy there. And then,
And all of our friends were lovely, but they were 80, so
80.
we just had to like kind of move on from there.
So
80 and they were leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And they were great,
It's just like,
but
You didn't kill them all with your COVID?
no. Well, that was
No.
like that's the biggest eye opener because it's just like you have the most unhealthiest people in the world, and they're all
Americans.
Well, no, sorry.
and especially
We
in
went to
Disney World.
Disney World. So she took me to
that
Disney
was
World.
where
So it's like they
people
get
are
60,000.
there's cart people, right?
Well, Florida in general, but especially in the center of
especially
Florida.
Disney
So,
World.
like,
the ones who
yeah.
can't even make it to the coast of Florida?
Yeah. So they were.
Central Florida is a fucking weird place.
Yeah, it is. Oh man, if you're born and raised there, you can tell because they look inbred, but like they don't look. They sound.
They look like they're
sound.
inbred with like the alligators. You know what I'm saying? Like they're inbred with the wildlife.
Yeah, they'd be good in the water. Like they can handle a swamp. Like They could,
they put their hands in the swamp often to
they could pull out some catfish,
pull out.
wherever they got.
Yes, yeah, they be noodling.
Yeah, that's what I noticed about Florida. Like the more north you go, the more south you feel. It's just like that's how I kind of feel about Florida. It's just like that was our Florida experience, but it was awesome.
We saw a lot of Florida. We saw the cult. What was it?
Scientology
Cult.
I worked for
Clearwater?
Scientologists
Clearwater.
when I was younger.
Did you really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Fuck.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I can't wait to tell one of those stories. That's fun.
Clearwater was kind of crazy because it was like.
Well, I just wanted to go to the Hulk Hogan shop.
Yeah,
so it's just
Hulk
like-
Hogan shop, Hooters, like super fun, hard rock, tourism, beach land. Then you go a couple blocks and it's just like kind of, I don't know, desolate, just like a bookstore, a store that doesn't have any signage on it at all, just symbols.
Parks for seniors.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weirdest part about Scientology at this stage is they've lost most of their membership.
Okay.
But they still have fuckloads of money and all of these properties.
Okay.
So that place used to be like Clearwater
Bumpin'.
used to be. Oh my God, yeah, there were like hundreds of thousands of people.
Why did they lose their?
Constantly in and out, because the truth got out.
Yeah, because Leah Remini.
Yeah.
What a bitch.
No, it started. She was kind of the end of the movement against. But the whole thing with Scientology is you had to get to the very top level.
And to pay a lot, right?
Oh God.
So is it just inflation that got kicked out everyone?
No. So you had to get to the top tier, whatever the like all the way to the top, like you've accomplished everything, and then you would go into a room with like one of the like top members, right? And then whoever was your sponsor, right? So typically a parent or your mentor or whoever brought you along, right? And then you would go in the room, and then they would bring out the final text from Elron and sit it in front of you, and then everybody would leave, and you read it by yourself in that room, and then you close it, and you're never allowed to speak of it again. And that's where all the crazy was, like the aliens and the evil Lord Xenu and all of that crazy shit. Well, somebody finally talked about that.
Oh, okay.
And when that got out, everybody was like,
South Park?
That's what we're fucking doing?
Yeah.
I think South Park was,
a big
South
part
Park
of
was
it.
kind of right in the middle of when everything was blowing up.
Right.
And it was because they had a guy on the show who was a Scientologist, the guy who played Chef.
Yeah, he left because of that.
That's why
right?
he left.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's
So anyway,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, once that got out, everybody was like, are we still fucking doing this? So, yeah.
That's
Well, I
funny.
mean, I grew up Catholic, and all the other religions are diddling kids. They didn't, right?
No, I think they did.
Scientology.
Yeah.
L. Ron Hubbard was, yeah.
Oh, he
definitely
did as well.
A
Yeah.
known pedophile.
And I
Why
think
does every religion have to diddle?
He wasn't.
that's the whole point of a religion.
kind of
To
but
diddle?
He wasn't a like a kid diddler. That was just when it was still okay to have 16 and 17
That's
year old
true.
girls around you all
Yeah.
the time, and do questionable things with them. You know,
Well, they did
he
that-
was a scumbag,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like
Okay,
he wasn't
that's
doing
true,
things
that's
that
true,
at the
that's true.
time were technically illegal. But obviously, clearly he had shady.
That's
intent.
the Roman Polanski excuse.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure they murder people too, right?
Well, I fuck around and find out.
I think they murder
Oh,
people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it didn't get out for so long because a couple of the people who were going to talk early on disappeared. That was the other thing. So they had ships.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and
And
they
I-
also had
yeah.
all of this land and all of these different. But it wasn't just like a church. It's like a church on like 100,000 acres.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
The dude who runs it now,
where's the body?
the dude
Yeah.
who runs it now, they haven't seen his wife in like I don't know how many years.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of conspiracies around that, or she's like on this property that's secluded and just nobody's seen her in like 30 years or something like that. Some
It's
insane
been
amount
like
of
30
time.
years, but it's been like 10 or 15.
So that's why,
Nah, like 30.
being an
30 feel like a good
outsider
number.
from Canada looking in, this is why you
I
guys
don't
are
know
the
if
coolest country ever.
Scientology-
Just like it's
L. Ron
Wasn't
Hubbard?
cool.
L. Ron Hubbard and Crowley were friends. I mean, they started that shit back in like the 60s, 70s.
like that's just phenomenal. Yeah, I was just saying, like on the outside looking in,
30 years does feel like a long
that's
time.
a religion you guys made up. Like that's why you guys are so interesting.
Oh yeah.
It's like, but it's like the layers of it. And it's just this person was missing for 30 years. This guy believed these aliens came down to Earth, and it's just like,
Yeah.
and it's so
Well, and-
powerful.
And also, Elron was such a weird fuck to begin with. Like, his story is actually very interesting.
Yeah.
The only real interesting part of the Scientology story that should be told is his life story. But it'll never be told honestly, right? Obviously, they keep him in too high of regard. But his real true story is actually very interesting. He was a complete failure at everything he ever did. And he had, like, a lot of... Like, his dad was an admiral in the military, and so he, like, in the Navy, and so he had command of a ship at one point. Like, he was a captain, I think, in the Navy, and just, like, I think the story was he thought he saw aliens, and so he just took an American naval ship on a... Like, I'm going to go find these aliens run through the Pacific Ocean, and he got kicked out of the Navy. So, like, he was a total fucking wackadoo.
He was into them for
from
a while.
the beginning.
Jeez.
And...
Well, he just saw the truth.
And then he started writing his own science fiction novels. And he's written more science fiction novels than any other human that's ever lived. It's like tens of thousands of them.
oh, wow.
And none of them are worth reading.
They're all really bad.
Just
So
gibberish?
quantity,
Oh
not
my
quality.
God, they're terrible. It's so fucking like, I don't understand. Anybody in Scientology has to have started with the religion and then read his books later when you already thought he was a god. Because if you've read any of his like science fiction shit,
You wouldn't
there's
be a fan.
no way you could fall for any of it. It's so fucking bad. It's drivel. It's terrible.
Oh my
Every bit of it.
God.
And then again, like, if you did it how do you do something that many times that bad every time? Like, it's kind of impressive. But anyway, yeah, he was a real fucked up weird, and then he came up with this idea for religion, and it was the only thing he ever did that worked. And it kind of worked.
It's weird how a
Worked really well.
lot of cult leaders have that similar backstory where they weren't good at anything that they tried to do and were just failures and fucking criminals and just terrible con men and failed con men their entire life, and then somehow they just started Jonestown or the Manson family or some weird shit. It's crazy.
That is
they
crazy.
found enough people who were just this much more of a loser than they were.
Right. Yeah.
And
right.
the problem is, if you've got a group of people who really believe in what you're saying, just as a human being, it's easy to get caught up in that. And especially if you're a human being, because like they would go, Scientology, the way they built the organization was they would go to like outside of AA meetings, and like they specifically went after people who were desperate.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what they angled themselves after, was people who would fall for it. And in the initial stages, what they offer seems like a good thing. Like the message is very positive, right? But then like any religion, at the end, it's about control and making money and all that kind of shit. So.
You can't even really leave if you go in at all. They really, really keep you in. Like even if you just visit, they just try to keep you there for as long as possible. Yeah. In Vancouver, there was
the guys I worked for tried to convert. At one point, they made us take a Scientology course under the guise of like.
Yeah, they make it under
training.
the guise of something else. There was a like an free art piece or something, and that's how I initially went into one by accident. And yeah, it was just like about the universe at first, and then it was like, oh no, like, and then you just start to hear about aliens and what you're meant to be and all these things, and then I was like, oh, and then I just kind of left, and they were pretty rude about leaving. They were like, why are you leaving? We gave you free drinks. There was, we had this free art. Like, that's not very nice. And then
sounds like
you just had to leave.
Stiffed on a date. What do you pay? Like,
I
paid for dinner.
I know. I'm like, I've been through this before.
Guys who have been stiffed on every date.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And then you just leave. You just have to be like, nope, bye. But they're like
But you gotta
they
be
get pretty
really
aggressive.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can't really be nice.
No, but that's why they get the people that they get, because people who can't say no. It was the perfect.
Why do you think a guy like Tom Cruise would want to do that?
Power.
Oh well,
Fame.
somebody like that. Well, first of all, Tom Cruise is fucking like there's nothing in his brains. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason he's such a good actor is because he's a completely
blank slate.
moron.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
good
Like
point.
he's
Just like
he's
doing
an
stuff.
idiot.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't have an independent thought.
Exactly. Yes. So for somebody like that, it's easy to convince them. But also, there is 2 tiers of Scientology. There's oh fuck yeah, absolutely. There's everybody.
Yeah.
And then there is the celebrity wing.
Yeah,
it's literally
exactly.
called
It's
that.
completely different
And-
experience.
And yes, they are given a completely different, like, they're treated like gods.
It's like being sponsored by Nike or something as a celebrity. You would just get like,
They
Well, but
went
like,
after
they-
celebrities to
they
try and
make-
get
More than
other
that.
people.
All of the regular people are your slaves. Literally, they're at your beck and call. So so he gets treated even better in Scientology than it does in Hollywood.
yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
That's why.
I
that's
think
why somebody
there's
like
rumors
would
that he's killed people, too, and
At
and
least
like
had
imagine if you
people
could just kill people and
be
be allowed to do that. Basically,
The thing is, for
mean
somebody
Taylor
like
Swift
that,
Searching a
anyone
role
killed?
for
Yes.
Mission Impossible.
You do?
yeah, keep doing that bit.
Find out. I think she'd kill the college kid who's tracking her jet before she.
Yeah, if she
She's got
could
beef
have
with that
somebody
guy.
killed, that would have happened already.
That's true. Yeah.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think she's behind Kanye's anti-Semitism?
For sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because she's a Jew.
Is she? Oh,
who?
She hates the Jews.
yeah.
Her ticket prices average $1,400 a piece. She doesn't like the Jews.
Yeah. That's like the and it, well, she did go after George Soros too. So that's she. Pardon me?
See,
Yep. So she doesn't like the Jews.
she's also liberal, so she supports Palestine.
No, he was saying yes. He's also from San Jose. See?
I also work at a rub and tug.
I might have said yes to you, Scott.
So my story is about how I used to work
Oh, is that why
at
you were
a
looking
rub
at
and
me?
tug in El Paso.
No way.
Oh my God.
So
I
my
used to
story
have real stringy
Wish you were
arms,
in.
I used to speak Chinese.
and a weird accent.
spinning hair.
Yep.
You want to go first? I'll go first.
No way.
I'll tell my story of coming to Austin. There's no rub and tugs involved,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yep.
Still time.
Trudeau.
My story about visiting here is probably more interesting than my story about actually moving here. It was just moving here.
Mm-hmm.
But So it's really cool that you wore the CM Punk shirt because my story ends with meeting The Undertaker.
Oh, sweet.
But it starts with flying to California. So I was dating this girl at the time who I met in Virginia and who's from Virginia, but she was living in California. And I went to go visit her for Valentine's Day. It was like February 17th is the day I flew out there. And ended up not seeing her, but I did spend time in California during like the end of, like it's 2021. So it was still COVID fog, and they had just reopened the Santa Monica Pier. But you had to have your mask on while you were on the Santa Monica Pier. So it was that time. Coming from Virginia where we're barely doing comedy shows. But I go have this experience in California and I see the desolate wasteland that it is, you know, as compared to what I always thought it was from playing Need for Speed and watching Fast and Furious and things of that nature. Grand Theft Auto.
I mean, it felt very Grand Theft Auto. It felt pretty much like Grand Theft Auto.
And I did execute a lot of hookers when I was there too.
And it was legal to shoot police for a while.
lot of anyway. So yeah. Are they talking about, can they see me? Can they see me? But anyway, yeah, so visiting California, and also I had been at a point in my life where I'm ready to leave Virginia and I'm kind of going to like scout California for comedy and stuff, right? Because there'd always been the goal before this became the thing. The goal had always been like be a paid regular at the Comedy Store, right? And that's still a goal, of course, but that was the goal. So it was visiting this girl and visiting California, and that was neat. It was interesting, and it was like a 2 or 3 day run. But this is where I go to Austin. So I fly back from California, right? Fly back from California, pick up my van, drive home from D.C., an hour south to my hometown, Fredericksburg. Pick up my dog, go home, unpack my bag, repack my bag, sleep for 2 hours, get up, take my dog to a different friend's house, drive south to Munford. You guys know Munford Davis?
No.
Oh, I was like, there's a place. Is that where he's from?
No.
Was he named after the town?
We do know Mumford,
Stupid.
yes.
No, you drove
But
to
not
the
the
person.
place.
Mumford. Got it.
So I drove to Mumford's house. Mumford and I did comedy together back in Virginia for a while.
We do know Mumford.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best. So,
Is he a Swiftie? He's got to be, right?
I mean, now I think he has to be at this point.
Yeah. I think he's legally obligated. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's made a blood oath.
Yeah, if you continue to follow the Chiefs at this point, you are also a Swiftie.
That's part of the satanic pact with the Chiefs.
Correct.
And, yeah.
They get the next 10 Super Bowls.
And Taylor Swift gets $10 billion more.
Yeah, Travis Kelce's soul and
Right.
all of their money. It's pretty fair trade, I think. You know, Super Bowls are big.
Yeah.
Stop trying to goat me into saying things about Taylor Swift. I know what you guys are doing, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Stop trying to get me killed, Gabe.
I just want to see if she can do it. You know? What kind of power she's got. You know?
That's true, because if you just keep throwing out like wild shit about her, like eventually something's gonna stick and be true.
Exactly.
And then it's like that's gonna get caught. Like he knows too much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before
We
you
are
know it,
sending all of these clips to her PR people. So
You've been doing that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, I was hoping.
well, you weren't. So I was like, somebody's got to.
Well, I was making the timestamps and sending them to you, so I didn't know if you were sending them to
Absolutely,
her,
yes.
too. Okay. Cool.
This is my favorite part of the podcast. When we stop doing our thing and we look up and the guests are like, did you forget we were here? Or?
No, we like it. It's
We
just
like it. You guys are relationship goals.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tony's like the zookeeper who knows these two animals, and he keeps seeing other animals get stuck in the cage. And every time we do Gabe and Scott shit, he's like, "Oh yeah, look at them. Look at the others. They don't know what the fuck's going on, dude."
They're so confused.
Well, it's just like I'm watching. I'm just like, this is like if Bob from Jay and Silent Bob could talk. It's just like, that's what I'm saying. I was like, Kevin Smith, take notes.
Fucking, he's watching.
Where were you in your?
They we got them to bring up our improv troupe during COVID, like on the podcast with.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking excellent.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they shouted it out.
That's
Very stupid.
Yeah.
Very dumb. Very dumb credit.
So why did you? Sorry, in the middle of all that, you went through all of the 19 steps real quick. Why'd you have to keep moving Bo to different other people's houses?
Because the one person couldn't watch him the entire time that I was in California and in Austin. Because I was about to be in Austin for a week. I was only in California for like 3 or 4 days.
Oh, it was like different trip. Like he's staying with this buddy for this trip and this buddy.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, I had to pick, and then so I had to pick him up in the middle of the night on the way back in the snow and fucking come home, unpack my bag from LA, and then repack my bag for Austin. So like unpack the 4-day bag, repack the fucking 8-day. We were here from Monday until Saturday, so yeah, it's like 6 days. So it was like this super hectic fucking experience. It was the first time I felt like I'm a comic. This is what life is going to feel like as a comic.
Oh, cool.
You know what I mean? It was just like flying, being there, performing, flying back, landing, and then immediately flying again. It was so, it was fucking cool. It made me get used to flying again. But, so Mumford's sister takes us to the airport, and we fly to Atlanta, and then we fly to Austin. And like I said, I've barely got any sleep in any of this. I've been fucking flying to California, trying to explore as much of LA and fucking, the girl that I'm talking to and my friends in California and walking my dog in the heroin park like they do in California.
Dogs love heroin in California.
Dogs love heroin. Yeah.
That's true. They love them back in Canada too. They always have to go to those needles, don't they? They always, all our dogs always just beeline to a needle. It's like, you have a good life. Don't throw it away.
Not good enough.
Yeah. My dog's unvaccinated and he's starting to show symptoms now. I'm getting concerned. So anyway.
California.
So yeah, it's just a very hectic experience. It's all just like one stream of happening, there's no really rest space in between. This is all just a very busy up until the time that we land in Austin. We get picked up by a guy who was like a tech bro who owns his own company and was driving a Tesla, but for Uber. That was my first person that we met in Austin. That was the most Austin fucking thing ever.
Very Austin.
So, like a guy giving us fucking.
And one of these stories is fake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that just seems like too mean of a stereotype for Austin.
That's fine. We'll get to that.
If he would have said it was a lesbian, that would have been very suspicious. It was a lesbian
tech bro startup Uber driver.
He was giving us like stock tips and like cryptocurrency tips. Also.
All right, this is true.
Yeah, like this is right around AMC and GameStop.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So he's one of those guys.
Oh, wait, what year is that?
Yeah.
Like
2021.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
so funny.
That's awesome.
He's a fucking a gorilla or apes. Yeah, apes together strong. Yeah, I remember that. So he's one of those guys. He's the one who gives us a ride from the airport to the hotel. We check into the hotel. It's the Marriott on like 3rd and Trinity. Yeah, 3rd and Trinity. And we go up there, we throw our stuff on the fucking bed, and we change or shower really quick. Whatever. I don't even know if we had enough time to. And then we run over to Antone's to sign up for Kill Tony. This is Monday. Right?
We're still at Antone's.
Yeah, it was still at Antone's. The day that we got into Austin was the day that they lifted the the boil water advisory from the freeze. So they had just like recovered from the freeze. The roads were good. The power was back on. You can drink the water.
Nice.
Like it was the first day of that. And Kill Tony had just started recording again. They had been off for 2 weeks. So this is also the episode where it's not live anymore. Kill Tony used to be live. It used to stream live.
Oh, okay.
Now it's like, you know, it's pushed back a couple weeks now. It got pushed back then, and they got pushed back more with Skankfest, and it's just got pushed back more and more and more and more and more.
Right.
Arena shows, Skankfest shows. They did that. Remember that 2 weeks where they did like 3 shows a day on Monday and Tuesday?
Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, South by Southwest weeks where they've done fucking 2 or 3 shows.
That was a marathon.
Yeah.
So it was the first show after like their live shows, and Mumford and I sign up, and we're hanging out front. The first people that we meet are Genevieve, Justin Essenmacher, and Marcus Oland. And Genevieve was the one that like initiated, conversation. And
that's so cool.
Got us all like talking and socializing.
I love her
and
so
stuff.
much.
So we're all hanging out front, and we're in Austin. It's fucking awesome. It feels great. It's like 70 something degrees. It was snowing when we left Virginia that morning, so it feels great. Like we're living the dream. We're here doing the thing. We're at Kill Tony. It's fucking bright and warm. Also, Kill Tony was on 5th Street at that time, so it was a lot cleaner and nicer. You know what I mean? It was a much different vibe than what's going on now.
6th Street.
That's funny. I missed that whole like. The first one I went to was like the 3rd or 4th show at Vulcan.
At Vulcan,
yeah.
That's the first one I went
to. I missed all the Antons.
The first one I went to was Antone's. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So we sign up and we're all excited, and like I think we go back to the hotel to get. Okay, now we're signed up. We have an hour before. Like we have time to go settle a little bit. Like I'm gonna grab my weed. I'm gonna roll some joints. I'm gonna get my cigarettes. And we do all that. And we come back and we're hanging out front. And everybody's giving us the same fucking shit that you gave Gabe and I, telling Mumford and I we look like Jay and Silent Bob, and all that sort of thing. And, you know, the bald homeless guy with like the fucking Colonel Sanders cut with the big beard. I know you would know him if you saw him, but he's a deaf homeless guy. And he was like walking around just like holding up a note, and I took his note and fucking read it and gave him money. But we're all hanging out front, and then just fucking being casual and being comedians, and this guy walks by me, and it's this guy like Gabe and I's size, long blonde hair like me, and I just see another tall guy with long hair, and I'm like, oh cool, another long hair, and I just start bullshitting, chatting with him, and he goes inside with his crew, and Mumford looks at me, he's like, do you know who that was? I'm like, no. He's like, that was Justin Wren. Like Justin Wren, the Fight for the Forgotten, like he built wells for the Pygmies, like Joe Rogan Experience, Bellator fucking heavyweight champion. I'm like, oh shit, that's really cool, neat. I didn't fucking know. That's why I was able to have like a natural conversation.
That you didn't get weird or you were just like,
he probably loved it.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, exactly. Also, he loved it.
Yeah.
So we're there, we're hanging out at Kill Tony, outside Kill Tony, and my name gets called. We're fucking visiting town. Like I've been doing all this crazy shit all fucking for the past 4 days in California and traveling in airplanes with my dog and Justin Wren and my name gets called and Joe Rogan's the host.
No way.
And in my head for the past like 2 years or year and a half up to this point, I've been fucking like envisioning telling my dog on LSD joke at like the Comedy Store somewhere and Joe Rogan seeing it and like laughing at it and giggling at it and shit. And I go, first of all, I go to Antone's.
That's why everyone came to Austin, so that Joe Rogan would think we were funny.
So he would adopt us.
So Dad could laugh.
That's the best way to put it. That's the best way to put it, yeah.
Dude, I was so excited when I came in to go on the stage that I missed the steps on the side, and I just like, being 6'6" me, just stepped straight up onto the stage, like straight up on the corner of the stage, like my head hit one of the lights. Like,
oh shit! Like literally cracked the fuck. And I also haven't been in there, so I don't know what the layout is.
And like at that point, it was a bad, like it wasn't a good show, right? And the band, like looking back on it now after I've met all of them and know them and stuff, but like the band, when I got on, they had this look in their eyes of like, you know, like, oh, fuck, here we go again. They look like deer in headlights but instead it's like, instead of a car coming at you, it's a car crash of a comedy set coming at you. That's the way they all looked at me when my head hit the headlights. And like Joe Rogan's there, and fucking Tony, and Red Band, and Brian Moses, and was there another guest? No, it was just Moses. And everybody's really loud for me too. Also, when I come in, Justin Wren knows who I am, so he sees me and he's like, "Yeah, Scott." And like him getting excited caused like a shockwave. Yeah. So people are like excited that I'm there for no reason. They have no idea who I am. They're like, he's excited. I am too. I hit my head. The band looks at me like I'm crazy. I look at Tony. I've never watched Kill Tony also at this point. I've never watched one episode of Kill Tony at this point. Like a lot of people at this point, because it wasn't that fucking popular yet. So I like look at Tony and I'm like, just kind of, telepathically, and he kind of gives me a nod, and I'm like, okay. And then I just fucking block out the panel and everything about that, and it's just me and the audience. And like, I know my joke. Yeah. I know an audience. I know a stage. I know a microphone. And I fucking crushed it. Yeah.
Nice.
Obviously, I tell that joke a lot different, a lot better now. But at that point in my career, that was fucking crushing. I crushed it. That room erupted. It was a great set.
How many people were fit in that room?
I don't know how many people fit in Antone's, but it was a big room. It's a big room.
Like 100 plus?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But not, like, it wasn't the amount. Obviously, that's part of the reason they moved to Vulcan.
Well, it's all one full... Well, the reason they moved to Vulcan is because they got kicked out of Antone's because of the Pang Dang.
What happened?
The what?
But they were already doing shows at Vulcan at that point.
When Tony got canceled for a week or whatever.
Oh.
For what?
Oh, you don't know about this?
No. Yeah, I actually don't know about that. Huh.
So he had a guy opening for him that was from Vietnam or something.
I saw that clip. So he came out on stage and started roasting.
He called him. Just called him a bunch of Asian slurs. So
I called the audience race traitors for laughing at all his Asian jokes.
Now the truth was, apparently they knew each other. Like, obviously he was opening for him.
He'd opened for Tony multiple times.
Yeah, and so I guess there was some back and forth. And if you've watched the full set, he was literally like making like hard racist jokes about white people at Tony before he brought Tony out. And then Tony was responding in kind, right? But also went overboard because he's Tony. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's what he does. You're not going to come at him, and he's not going to come at you twice as hard. But somebody recorded that set and put it on the internet.
And that was on the heels
just of... the Tony part.
Just
that's so frustrating.
And that was on the heels of Stop Asian Hate.
Yes.
So it was just
exactly.
Like, that was
it was right during Stop Asian Hate. All the videos were coming out of like people fucking knocking out Asian people.
That's funny because I didn't know he got canceled for that. I just remember laughing. I was just like, those are good ones. Some deep cuts.
He's really good. He's really good at roasting.
So sorry not to cut you off. That was like getting to the climax.
That's awesome.
No, you're totally fine. No, it's not the climax. There's plenty more. This is just Monday. We didn't leave until Saturday.
Okay.
Right.
That's the other thing. My week in Austin is just starting.
Just started. It's like, oh man.
Wow.
That's awesome. So it just started.
Yeah.
And so like you crush your set because I've alys like you.
I was a dork on my interview though. I was such a fucking dork. I was like so cringy going back and watching. I'm like, God, is that? Fuck. I was excited. You know what I mean? I was super excited. But
that's good.
I made Joe Rogan laugh with my joke. It was just this fucking huge moment for me. Cool. That was super reaffirming.
Oh yeah, he would love that.
Huh?
The LSD.
The dog on
LSD
LSD
he'd love
joke.
That. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, because you always have you have great when you come on stage, you have confidence and like immediate likability. Like I always feel like as soon as you come up, before you even say anything, just the way you position yourself, it's like you've already told a joke and they can relax. Do you know how like the audiences, once they get that one laugh from you, they kind of relax and like you're relaxed type of thing? I think you relax them like as soon as you come out, you have that energy. And it's like very few people have that. And it's like it's really cool to see.
Part of the advantage of being big guys and tall like Gabe and I are and having deep voices, and I mean you're talking about even before we speak, is it commands a certain level of attention. And if my presence is gentle enough, then it's not intimidating. You know what I mean? You're ready to laugh.
Yeah, and we've been this for long enough that you know how to use it to your advantage.
Right. Yeah.
And also you recognize, to your point, that that's what it's like when you walk into the room, and then you just play off of that.
But 6'6" fucking long-haired white guy, like it stands out.
Well, I think with guys as well, like they see you because you're a good-looking guy and you go up on stage, they immediately don't want to like you. But then like it's just like you have that energy.
But then I'm one of the boys.
Yeah, you're one of the boys. So it switches without being a douche.
Yeah.
Whereas like you're one of the boys that the girls will let you like.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm also a little bit of a girl too. I got the long hair. I fucking can get a little catty sometimes on stage and shit. So you know what I mean? The girl's like, oh shit, okay, he's fun. That's a good time. It's like I'm your like I know how to like pretend to be the gay friend so I can actually fuck all the girls in the friend group.
Respect. I've never been attracted to a gay man.
Respect. You've never been attracted to a gay man? Yeah, no. I guess it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that tactic works.
Because you're a strong Republican woman. You're attracted to masculine men. Like Alfie.
Yeah.
Are you just trying to cover for Alfie right now? I've never been attracted to gay men, I swear.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like, as I'm dressed like Ken from Barbie.
You're Kenough.
Actually, maybe, okay, style, yeah, that's true. Maybe that is gay. I don't know what gay is.
But I have this great time and I'm riding this high. The whole reason we came to Austin too is because like this is the new place to come and we go there to see if we can hang. Yeah. If we're good enough to hang. And I just fucking crushed it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I'm like, we can hang, you know what I mean? And the rest of the week was just partying in Austin and being on 6th Street and sitting on Vulcan balcony and looking over this
Vulcan balcony is
yes.
The first times that you go to the Vulcan balcony on the weekend, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was
just looking over the mess that is 6th Street.
The zoo,
all the
it's
lights
insane. It's just like watching a music festival. It's fucking crazy, dude. Such a fun week. We did a bunch of open mics. We met a bunch of cool people. That's the week I met Connor that week, and we stayed in touch the entire time.
You met him that week? That's cool.
Yeah, I met Connor that week.
That's
yes,
cool.
I surely did. Connor had just started doing comedy. He worked for Big Laugh. So I had another buddy. This was another reaffirming moment of the week. It's like I met Joe Rogan. I crushed with my dog on LSD joke, and on Friday night there was a full moon, and I met up with a buddy of mine who I'd never met before, an internet friend who was also in town at the same time. And he had the most potent DMT cart that I've ever smoked in my life. And we sat on the balcony of Shakespeare's smoking this DMT pen under the full moon on a Friday night. It was so reaffirming. It was just like synchronicity. Everything's fucking aligning. I'm supposed to be here. It's like it's all happening. The universe just keeps sending me signals. And it was a really great week. And Saturday, we get up and we go to the airport. It's probably another Tesla and a lesbian barista this time or whatever the fucking thing is. Just the most Netflixy inclusive character that they could put as a, hey, I got 2 lines. And they give you the ride to the airport. And we get there and we're flying to Richmond. I never fly to Richmond when I go home now. Because when you fly to Richmond, it takes you through Atlanta. It's a regional airport, Richmond. So there's no direct flights. You have to go to Atlanta to go to fucking or Dallas or Raleigh or Charlotte or it was Charlotte. Fucking hate that shit. I hate transfers. So we're flying to Atlanta and we're in the airport. And this is the final moment of like just reaffirming like I'm supposed to be on the way. Much different than almost getting raped by a fat Asian lady. This is a much different moment than what I feel like everything in America told you to turn around. And you're like, nuh-uh.
We're staying.
We have a podcast to do in Austin. I didn't buy all this pink paint for this fucking spare room for no goddamn reason.
I didn't turn down a hand job.
So we're at the airport, we're in the terminal, we've checked in, we've gone through security, our bags are checked, we're hanging out, we're waiting to get boarded on our plane. And I see in front of me this guy and just like, it's like athletic wear, but not the athletic wear you wear to the gym. It's like Under Armour or like, but with the Rocks logo.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And he's got a beanie on and he kind of looks like a motorcycle rider and he's big fucking dude. He's like my height, you know what I mean, or taller. And he's covered in tattoos, and I see this one on the back of his neck. I look at Mumford, I'm like, man, I think that's the Undertaker, dude. I think that's so. We look it up. I pull up my phone. I'm like, Undertaker tattoo back of neck. And I'm scrolling Google and I find it a picture and I see it's this fucking, trashy 90s tribal tattoo that he, that he got on the road in Minneapolis.
I'm glad he can't see.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's probably been laser removed since I met him.
Probably, yeah.
So I'm like,
not when he sees this, it's going to be.
But confirmed. It's the fucking Undertaker, right? And yeah, he's definitely going to get it erased after I tell on the podcast how I identified him by his tattoo. And then I approached him and I called him by his real name, which is Mark. I was like, Mark, can I get a picture with you? I was like, huge fan. Can I get a picture with you? And I'm trying not to make a scene. I sit down next to him and he's just kind of he's very cool about it. It's just huge 6'8", 6'10", intimidating guy with he has the same look on his face that also because he's getting bothered now by a fan, but he has the same look that he does when he's walking out to the ring. You know what I mean? He looks very stone faced, but he's super kind and he's kind of chatting with me and asking me about what I'm doing in Austin. And we take a picture. And then I go to get up and walk away, and he realizes that he had his fucking COVID mask on, and he pulls it down. He's like, hey, nobody's going to believe that you met the Undertaker. Come take another picture with me. And he took his COVID mask off to take another picture with me.
Nice.
And when we were chatting, because I had to chat with him for a minute, he's asking about why I was in Austin. And I told him that I was there to do comedy, and I just did Kill Tony and met Joe Rogan and all this shit. And he had just done the Joe Rogan Experience not long before that because he was in town to watch him and Joe, to watch Joe and Chappelle do Stubbs, right? So I'm like, oh, that's cool, da-da-da. And Undertaker and I, this is the last fucking reaffirming moment before I get on the plane and fly home. Undertaker and I had this conversation about performing live entertainment in outdoor venues versus performing live entertainment in indoor venues. Me, the fucking lonesome open mic host from Nowheresville, Virginia, is talking about like how it's different to perform in some fucking shitty back of a bar that I performed in, to the Undertaker who's talking about performing like Abu Dhabi and like the Buccaneers Stadium in fucking Tampa Bay at WrestleMania.
Same, bro. Fucking same.
I totally relate.
You get me, man.
Because the energy escapes, right? And he's like, yeah, man, you get it. Because that's how Undertaker talks in my head. He's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, we had this really, it was so, I'm talking to the Undertaker and having like, I mean, like we said, I'm talking about the back patio of a bar and he's talking about WrestleMania. But still, we had this conversation about how it's better doing events indoors because it holds in the energy, it holds in the laughter, it holds in the cheers. He prefers the indoors too. It's just the super cool thing.
I mean, any performer does.
Yeah.
I guess that's not true. If you're a musician, I guess outdoor works just as well.
That's a status thing, though. It's not so much a sound thing, because like you don't hear the crowd for live. They want the stadiums because it's a status thing. It's not so. It's like that's the sound.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's better than a dome. But I mean, yeah. I mean, not to interrupt. Yeah. I'm like, I'm hook, line, and sinker here. That's like, I keep going. That's awesome. So you met the Undertaker. So you pulled down the mask. You guys both pulled down the mask.
Yep.
Took a photo. Fuck, that's crazy. That's wild.
It's very cool, man.
And then you got to talk to him about how you like your dreams.
When did you move back here officially?
So that was like the end of February, beginning of March. Mumford moved here in April, and I didn't get here until July.
Still, it's
July
fast.
26th, 24th. July 24th, 2021.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Very good time.
That's
Sorry
so
for
awesome.
the lack of hand jobs. And the Undertaker gave me a hand job. But I didn't like it or want it.
Mile High one?
Yeah.
How would hell?
No, he was in first class.
Yes.
He's definitely in first class. But that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
No.
Craziest thing.
Baloney.
Baloney.
Gabriel.
So I also came to Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Oh, what? Spoiler.
Spoiler.
You live here?
I'm here. So I don't. I live way too far outside of the city.
Really?
We'll remedy that soon. Yeah, I live like an hour north of here.
Where's
Okay.
that?
It's fucking brutal. Temple.
Temple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fucking drive and a half.
They didn't ask where you worship at. They asked
And
where
then,
you live
yeah.
at.
Sorry, synagogue.
Tunnels.
All right.
It's real underground. So, I kind of told the beginning of the story. I started doing comedy in California, and kind of got some momentum and
Wait,
things.
is that where you're originally from? Like, where are you originally from?
No, I'm really originally from Chicago.
Chicago. Okay.
Yeah, but I've lived all over the place. My dad was a pastor, so we traveled a bit, and then after school, I started doing sales. So I just for work ended up living all over the place as well. I worked for LA Fitness for a while, and I would do like when they would open a new club in a city, I would go and set up all the contracts with the local businesses and stuff, and then get the gym opened, and then move to a new town. So I was just going all over the place. So I lived in Atlanta and South Carolina, and I lived actually here for like a year, like 10 years ago. So I just kind of been everywhere. But we went to California from Atlanta. That's where my wife and I lived before we went there. And we got there, and it took me a few months to kind of get into the scene, just because I had no connection to anybody. My brother lives in Sacramento, which is close-ish, right? Mm. But I didn't have any kind of connection to the scene, obviously, as well. Yeah. So when I kind of started to build momentum, it was a big thing. It was like, oh shit, I'm actually like, this is kind of working. And then everything shut down, obviously, because of COVID, right?
Did you find it easy getting in the scene? Because you are very likable, and you are very quick-witted, and then you are very personable. So did that go a long way in a scene like that?
I think so, and also I
are funny.
I are. There is. It doesn't matter where you are in life when you start doing comedy. You're a beginner, right? Mm-hmm. But there's definitely a bonus to the fact that I was 36. So like I knew how to talk to people. Yeah. I had spent a lot of time on stage. I did theater and did some stuff like that, through the years. So like I had experience interacting with a crowd. I had written jokes for other people and stuff like that. So like I had an idea of what I was going to do. So that helped me get good a lot quicker than the average person as well. So all of that kind of built towards a pretty quick beginning for me there, right? And also just what I talked about, like the access. Like I could literally go, I would pick a city to go every night. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to do Oakland tonight. And I would hit 5 mics and usually get into at least one of the legit clubs at least 2 or 3 nights of the week, right? So it was just like, as far as getting reps and being able to like just write new stuff and try it out and actually build, it was a really, really good place to get started doing comedy. I'm very happy that I got my start there. But obviously all of that went away and it was a switch. And it was so crazy for me because it had been such a build up to like making these connections and also like the downside to the situation I was in was like I'm trying to introduce myself to 3 different scenes too, right? Yeah. So like there was some negatives to that everybody was like, I was only able to be in any place 1 or 2 nights of the week, right? So nobody saw me all the time. So there was a little bit of like,
you weren't integrated as deeply as some of the other characters because they were in that scene every night.
Yeah, and there's only so much stage time to go around, right? And that's going to go to the people who you know are going to be around, right?
So at first it worked to your advantage because you're like, hey, I'm the new guy. And they're like, throw him up. But then they're like, oh, he's the... Oh, well, you're the guy.
You're only going to be here a couple nights. You're not really dedicated to this scene. And that's also obviously a lot of, especially gatekeepers.
Yeah.
They don't like if you're just like here for a moment and then you leave. They want you to actually invest in the scene, right? So it did become like a little bit of a barrier.
What does that mean to you, like invest in the scene?
It depends on the person, I'd say, right?
I mean, like if you're a local and you're like, I'm a San Francisco comedy guy and you live in the city and you are the one who's going around to bars and clubs and stuff like that and introducing them and getting the shows going, you want people who are going to come back and invest, and also people that the audience is going to recognize and that kind of stuff, right? So they just want you to like be a part of that specific scene. And when you're growing, like that is kind of important, right? You do want to build rapport with people and have people who are connected to you that know you, that can vouch for you, right? Like, hey, put him on the show. I know he's funny, right? So like stuff like that. Practically, it's good to be involved in that, right? But I had kind of made it work, and so when it all shut down, I was fucked. Like I was, I moved my family across the fucking country, literally from Atlanta to California, to follow this crazy dream, and we obviously were in a good position because my wife ended up getting a job at Google while we were out there, and so obviously that put us in a much better position and allowed me to quit working. Like I haven't worked full time. I just stay at home with the kids since we moved to Texas.
Okay.
So
and she still works for Google?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, it was like we were in a good position, but I was like, literally, all of her family is in South Carolina. We didn't have any like friends outside of her being at work and me being in the comedy scene. So when all that shut down, it was like we're just stuck in the house in this place where like we don't really know anybody. You can't go do anything. You can't go outside. You can't fucking like, you know what I'm saying? So it was a really rough and stressful position for me because I was like, I fucking put everything on the line. I had a very successful construction company in Atlanta that I just shut down and sold and you know what I'm saying, moved and sold the house that we had owned and that I had renovated and shit. So like I really and truly put everything on the line for this dream and again was feeling like super hopeful and like it's all going to happen and then just like shut down, fuck you, it's not, right? So that was brutal. But at first it was like also the feeling there was very much like the world is ending. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really have any concept that it wasn't like that everywhere.
Right.
It very much seemed like this is because everything on the news like it's
suffering was a badge of honor.
Exactly. Right. And also most of my friends in comedy outside of there were in other major cities that were more liberal, so they were having similar experiences.
And at that time not even Fox News was like, get to Austin, they're not doing this, everybody was fear-mongering.
Exactly.
I think even
nobody
Florida
was
shut
telling
down
you about
at that
for
time.
sure, yeah.
Nobody was like, this is a safe haven city for fucking unvaxxed people, for people to, you know what I mean? Nobody was saying that.
Well,
shit,
this was pre-vaccination.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, this was at the point
this
where
was when everyone was Lysoling their
exactly,
groceries.
for deniers or for people that didn't believe in
microwaving their
lockdown.
mail.
Whatever, you know what I mean?
COVID deniers.
Like nobody was telling you about, because Austin for most never shut down. Texas was just kind of doing its thing.
But it did at
Austin,
that time.
The city of Austin did.
At
but
that
outside,
time.
like the rest of Texas pretty much did not. But
Yeah.
everybody had at least a couple, you know what I'm saying, everywhere. But
But
I didn't realize that, like, I mean, this was months into it where, like, we're I don't know, like September at this point, and like we haven't been able to do any of the normal thing. And obviously for comedy, there's none of that. Like, like I was telling you, the show that we tried to do by the lake, the show we tried to do out in a fucking alleyway behind it, like everything was getting shut down. It was crazy.
Crazy.
So then at the end of September, there was like, I think 2 weeks where like the numbers were down or whatever it was, and they like let people open. And there was this guy who had spent, I think he was supposed to open in like April or May of that year, pre-COVID. He had spent like a year and a half building this club in Oakland, and it was like his life's dream. Like, he was a comic in the like, I think like mid 90s, and like kind of like he has a lot of connections and shit from that time, but like obviously didn't find this like superstar success as a comic, and was like, all right, well, I want to do build a comedy club, right? And so put all of his time and all of his money and all this shit into building it, and then nope, you can't open, right? And so 6 months of like, what the fuck are we gonna do? And
Paying
so
rent.
he pivoted and he literally built a club outside in the alleyway behind his club.
Oh wow.
He built a stage. He set up like heaters and umbrellas for the tables and set up tables, like measured the fucking distance to whatever the
guidelines
health code
said.
6
was
meters
requiring.
Yeah.
We all wore masks outside at our table, socially distanced, right? So they were able to open up like towards the end of September, and I was like, all right, like finally some air for me, right? And I got in, and he liked me right away, so like I literally got up every week.
Oh, nice.
And they were only doing one mic, and then on Friday they would do a paid show where like a bigger name would come in, again, one of his connections from his comedy days. So I was getting on every single week, and nobody else was getting on every week. It was fucking amazing. And it was a month and a half straight of this. And I was like, okay, again, I'm finally starting to feel some momentum, and I'm getting much better than I was before when I was just doing open mics, because now I'm in a club. Mm-hmm. And it's limited to the amount of people, right, because of all the regulations. But like it's a fucking, it's a crowd, and I'm doing, I'm doing my, finally, I'm doing the thing again. And a month and a half in, they shut that down.
Aww.
And I had always like, I am certainly not as liberal as the average Californian. But I'm much more centered than, like, I grew up in a super, super religious, conservative home, right? And I'm very much not that. Mm-hmm. But I'm politically I'm towards the center. And so like when all of that shit was going on, I was playing by the rules. I was doing all this and again, under the guise that we all were, that like we have to do this, otherwise, you know what I'm saying? We're all doing the right thing, right? Mm-hmm. But that was the first moment for me that I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, we're following ridiculous rules that don't even make sense, and we're still following them. Yeah. And you're going to shut us down under those circumstances. And I was like, fuck this. I can't. Like, and also, like.
Well, I'd say shit like, oh, there's a rise in cases. There's a rise in cases, so, like, you can't do it. And we feel sorry. Like, like it's not like our hands are tied. Rise in cases. Exactly. Rise in
cases.
There's
a new variant.
There's a new variant.
Oh, you don't.
Omicron. You guys better watch out.
Super China flu.
Stay home.
Yeah. Right?
We had.
So it was.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, what?
Oh, there was a crazy situation in Vancouver where there's this beautiful field of cherry blossom trees, and it's like, they bloom for like 2 weeks or something out of the year, and everybody was excited to go and usually go, and people take pictures and they walk around. They literally had caution tape all around the exterior of this Japanese, like cherry blossom tree, open giant field, like really big field, because you could walk, but they didn't trust that people wouldn't stop and take a picture, and if you stop, then you'll get it. So you have to keep walking at all times. So if you're walking and you're moving, you're okay, and you're 6 feet apart. But so that was one of the funniest moments.
And it was like that, like
an open field,
more and more silly and ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'd fill your skate parks with sand. That was wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, not fuck sand, concrete. They filled it in with concrete.
Oh shit.
What? Really? I didn't know about that.
Permanently. Yeah. There's like 3 or 4 of like iconic skate parks in California that will never be ridden in again because they fucking filled them in.
Like that's where the sport was
so
invented.
Fucked.
Like that's where it was invented.
Yeah.
And they did that.
Yeah. And one of them is one of the top 3 were like literally where skateboarding began. Yeah, it's fucking insane. Yeah, they did crazy shit up there. They didn't do as crazy. I have a good buddy who lives in Australia, and that's where it was the worst.
Mm-hmm. They had internment camps, basically. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they were everybody
parts, right?
was. You had to register your home residence, and you were given a 1 mile radius that you were allowed.
And I think they had an app
to go in.
Yeah.
Oh, they had it was not just a scan, like a tracker app, and you had to have.
I think ours was a tracker app too. I don't know.
Oh, was it? Or it might,
so.
or
I don't know.
It probably was.
I don't know. But
it
wasn't that
openly
extreme.
Was.
Yeah.
And you couldn't go outside of a mile radius of your home, and if you got caught outside of that, you would get arrested immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, COVID isn't in jails.
No. Of course, obviously not. No. There's not.
Yeah, we take you to jail.
Yeah. COVID can't get you.
Yeah, despite what Harvey Weinstein said, he did not get COVID in jail.
Right?
He's like, I got COVID in jail. I was like, no, you're safe. You're in jail.
You're good. It's not in there.
They keep it cold in there because it keeps the bacteria.
Exactly. Keeps it away. Yes, exactly. And they don't like jail food. Bacteria hates jail food.
Right. They don't eat food.
Which
it's food in general if you're
it's
eating.
Bad.
It's terrible.
bad food.
It sucks.
If you're eating or drinking, it's not as bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as soon as you're like, Oh, it can't get me.
Her dad was the best for that. He'd get on a plane and like we're on a plane.
Oh,
and
I would do that the whole flight.
There's a couple with tarmac suits on. And he's got his little mask on. It's like not even a mask.
He had a collection of fake ones that my grandma made.
Yeah. So he's got this giant bag of nuts, and like just out of principle, he ate 10,000 calories the whole flight.
Absolutely. And it was so silly because it was like nobody can say anything because this is the silly rule. So I'm gonna Yeah, it was.
So I'm going to exploit it.
Absolutely. It was fantastic.
Yeah. And people like us that's we were born for this moment. Oh my God.
I've been playing silly
How
games
far
my
can
whole
I
life.
slip the mask down my nose?
Yep.
So that was your first big moment where you were like, geez, my friend's business, he tried so hard. He built a freaking thing perfectly.
And he survived.
He did?
He did.
Good.
But a lot of places didn't.
Of course.
But it was the humanity aspect of it that like this is wrong what's happening, but also it was like this doesn't make sense.
Well, the schools are shut down too, right? How old are your kids?
Yeah, but at the time neither one of them were in school yet. They were 1 and 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So
so that kind of worked in your favor a little, I guess.
Yeah, kind of.
They didn't miss school.
No, they did not. Yeah, for that,
yeah.
yes, absolutely, yes. But being stuck in the house for a year straight with a 1 and 3-year-old was.
We just know the ones that were learning to speak and all these things.
All that
they
shit,
had a lot of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a big setback. Absolutely, for sure. Yeah. We were.
You're like, my kids are retarded.
Yes.
Because we lived in California.
So This wasn't related to the story, but I forgot about this part. So literally, my daughter was born on the 28th of February. She was born in the hospital. 3 hours after delivery, I go to get my wife some dinner, right? And I leave and come back like 20 minutes later, right? I put in the order online, you know what I'm saying? So that all I have to do is get it, come straight back, right? Come back, 20 minutes have passed. And in that 20 minutes, they got a call that the first case was discovered in San Jose. And they wouldn't let me back into the hospital.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry.
Literally in 20 minutes, it went from like doors are open. It's just like a hospital was any other day to the maternity ward, they taped the doors closed with caution tape.
Wow.
You couldn't get in. You could only get in the main entrance. And there was a guard booth set up with several armed guards. And if you weren't if you didn't have to be in there for a procedure, and literally in 20 minutes, everything changed.
Wow.
So yeah, it was nuts. And then we ended up getting out of the hospital, a couple days later, and literally a week later, it was like if she had been born there, who knows how long they would have been. Yeah, it was fucking insane.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So at that point, I was like, we gotta look at options. We got to figure something else out, right? And she was on the same page. We were both disenfranchised with the whole experience. It was terrible, right? And so I honestly kind of jokingly was like, fucking, you want to go to Texas? Right? And she was like, yes. I was like, all right, fuck it. And at that point, we just were renting a place, and our lease was up in like 2 months. And so we started looking at places out here. And literally within a week made the decision, fuck it, we're moving to Texas, right? And again, it was kind of easy because, again, we didn't have any connections, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. The whole comedy scene was shut down, so, like, I didn't have anybody that to interact with anyway, so we were like, fuck it, we're packing up and we're going. Yeah. So we ended up packing up all of our shit, and we bought the house that we live in now over Zoom. Had never been here. I had lived in Austin earlier, but my wife had never even been to Texas at all, right? And we which was a very weird experience.
Where's she from?
She's from South Carolina.
South Carolina, okay.
Yeah. So we joked about it, like it'd be really fucked up if we showed up and like there was no house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a very weird, like, we bought a house from across the country over the internet. You know what I'm saying? Over video, right?
So we did,
Fingers crossed, right? It was so fucking weird. It was the weirdest thing. But we were like, all right, let's do it. And so we packed up everything we had into a fucking U-Haul, put her car on the trailer, and then, or my car on the trailer, and then she drove her car, and she had the kids in her car, and there was me and the fucking 2 dogs. We have 2 giant pit bulls, so it was me and the dogs, and then all of our shit. We're like, fuck it, we're driving across the country. Which it wasn't like, she and I have driven across the country like 5 times, in RVs, in moving trucks. Like we've done this crazy cross, and it's like 4,000 miles across the country. It's fucking insane, and we've done that so many times. It's nuts. So we get in the fucking truck and we hit the road, and we'd kind of done this already to go to California. So it wasn't like super extreme, but again, it was like, we're starting over again. I'm going to have to find a new comedy community, because I had no, like, zero. We at least had my brother out there, right? Somebody you could call in an emergency, but it was like, now we have absolutely fucking nobody, and we're starting over again.
Yeah.
So we packed up, got everything, and left. And it was the ride out here was very interesting. It was very like quiet, partially because it was in the middle of shutdown and there was not a lot of people. But I think it was because we came across like a higher route. I think it was Kansas that we got to, that was the same thing as what you were talking about in Arizona. We're like
tons of massage parlors.
Exactly, just one after the other, right? But like all of a sudden, people were looking at us weird for having a mask on, and we were like, "Oh, what's fucking going on?"
Yeah, it was like a weird switch.
It was, and we talked about this. I was like, I was only ever wearing a mask not to be an asshole anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't fucking believe in it. I was just doing it because I don't want to fight. Like, I didn't care enough
you can pick
about
a fight every second.
Exactly.
Step you take.
I don't care. I can do this, and it doesn't cost me anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it allows me to do the things I need to do. Right? So I'll just do it. So as soon as I was the asshole for that, I was like, well, fucking, I'm done with this shit anyway. I didn't want to do this. So it was a very quick turn for us. Like, oh fuck, good, we're done with this.
Isn't it weird when you see people still wearing them?
Yeah.
In their cars.
Yes.
So, well, the government did something.
Weird.
There's no coming back. Like, there's no.
Oh yeah, some people
back.
are fucked.
Like, the government did a number on a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like they're done. They're broken.
Yeah, they'll be like that forever.
Yeah, they might as well just go to fentanyl. It's like have fun on your last couple of years out. It's just like they're eventually gonna go postal. It's just like everyone that goes postal nowadays is just like a mask person.
Yeah, because you've lived in.
They all became like sleeper agents.
Well,
yeah. Oh shit.
You lived in an insane level of anxiety and fear for half a decade. Like that's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people who don't want to let go. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also some of them, like, I'm sure it was more comfortable for some people who were never good at society anyway.
Well, it feels
to be like,
so
oh, good.
good.
Everybody's stuck in the house.
Just pat yourself on the back.
It just feels good to be like a hero for doing that too.
For sure. Yeah, for doing something that isn't difficult or heroic. Yeah.
I think it's really sad too that they might actually think I knew you won't get a gold star for doing that. Like, you won't get a reward for that. It's just going to hold your life back if you decide to just stay in all the time, right?
Yeah.
So it's that I did understand that, and I was very sad about the fact that, like, people were kind of like, no, I know I'm kind of, like, taking a hit now, but it'll be worth it when things go back.
Yeah, and then it's like, it's
things
never
but things don't come back ever in life.
Away, they don't come back.
That's never.
No.
Just generally life too.
No.
Life just moves on. Everything about life is forward. Like,
absolutely.
Crazy.
Yeah, nobody's going back to pick you up. Yeah, if you got lost in the shuffle, you're fucked. Yeah,
and you don't get a crown. Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah, there's no more pats on the back. It's all over, and you just were the
wasted.
One
and I think some of those people are starting to realize that, like you said, and that's why their psyche started to deteriorate, because they're like, oh, I sold my soul for nothing.
And a lot of young kids
for
too.
Fucking
I think.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I can't.
That's
even
the hard
imagine
part, because that would be hard to be young and not know.
Yeah, like preteen, teenage, and like you don't really know how things work and understand the world and everything yet, having to go through that, you'd be hella confused about what's true and what's not. Like,
I think the worst thing ever would be
to be gaslit by all of society.
Well, imagine like being the person that called the cops on your neighbors for having get-togethers. And then, like, 4 years later, like,
it's all over, and you're still neighbors.
You're still neighbors.
Yeah.
They're still having get-togethers, and you're never coming.
Fuck you forever.
That's so awkward.
Yeah.
Like, that's so, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or friends that shamed you for not getting the fucking jab.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're both still here and alive and fine, and it didn't matter.
Yeah. And actually, now they're finding all these things after the fact that it's probably actually worse to have gotten the jab.
It's probably better for you to just have not.
Just, you know.
Yeah. So the only weird, so the trip was, again, it was kind of peaceful and oddly quiet until we got to Kansas, and then they were like, COVID, we ain't heard of that. Cows ain't got it. So the only like weird thing that happened at one point, I don't fucking remember if it was in Oklahoma or if it was in Kansas, but at one point we couldn't find a hotel that we could park the giant truck and the trailer with the car and everything at it, so we had to stay at, there was like they call them fucking RV resorts, but they are anything but a resort. It's literally just a line of the type of people you would expect to, like, people who
sex offenders.
Correct. Yeah, people who can't legally live around anybody else.
You come in with some kids.
Yeah, lots of that, right? So just
fresh meat.
Rows of these fucking RVs that are all like from the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Like just real sad shit. So we had to rent one of those spots to park the truck and then rent one of their little cabins that they had. And I come out in the morning to move the truck, and the RV beside us hadn't lodged their shit tube well enough into the sewage, and so it had just popped loose, and there was just fucking a river of
diarrhea,
RV people turds that had just completely washed under the fucking truck. Like, as I was walking up to the truck and the RV and the mess is on the other side, it was on this side. Like, I saw like a foot-long human turd, right? Oh. Like, as I was about to step into the truck.
Sounds like 6th Street.
What the fuck is happening? And then I walk around to the side, and I see the hose out of where it's supposed to be, just, like, guzzling. I was like, ah! So I had the opposite. Like, I had no good signs of this is what he's doing. No, that was the only thing that was shitty. I quit.
Usually I walk out on Gabe when he fucking does that.
Yep.
Show myself out. I love shitty puns.
So we get here, and like I said, I live an hour away, right? So I start driving down here every fucking night, right? And I'm hitting open mics and doing shit. And I miss the Anton shit, but the first time I kind of established, I'd met a few people and kind of like, I was like, all right, where do I need to be? Because I knew the like bars and stuff to do open mics, but I was like, where do I need to go to like actually like get noticed and start getting booked and stuff like that? And everyone was like, well, have you done Kill Tony yet? And I was like, no, I haven't. Again, I knew what Kill Tony was because I was a fan of the Comedy Store. I'd been there several times. And so I knew about it just because it was there, but I had never watched it either. So I was like, no, I've heard of it, but I don't know where it is or, you know, how it all works and like, how do you get on and all this shit. And I think it was Ridge Hirschberger who actually
love that guy.
Told me, everybody loves Ridge. He's fucking amazing. Him. So the way he outlined it, I was like, there's no way it's that easy. He's like, no, you just go up there and sign your name on a list and then you sit in the back and wait. And I was like, there's no way it's that simple. So I went and I was like, fuck it. I went and signed up. And I had a buddy in town, one of my buddies from Atlanta, who started the same night that I did doing comedy. We did an open mic in Atlanta one time. And then he and I both were like, fucking, we're doing it. And he and I both have like he's in Asheville now and like he's doing really well and stuff.
Nice.
So,
did you get on?
Uh-huh. So we both signed up, but he was just in town for the weekend.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was only signing up because we were there, but I was hoping that he would, you know what I'm saying, get the shot, right? and they called my name.
Wow.
Right? Which, again, was bittersweet because I was like, I'm going to be here every week.
Yeah.
And you're leaving and you're not going to have another shot. You just have to watch me walk up there. And also he had told me all this stuff. So his wife is like a super hippie. And so she'd been like getting good vibes and he was like super hyped up, like I'm getting called, right? And I was kind of buying into the hype. I was like, oh fuck yeah, you're gonna do this. And then my name gets called and he's just like, I can see him just like walk up like, oh fuck, right? And so I go up. And
is that why you're booking him on our show in March? Is because you feel guilty about?
It's all coming back. So I get called. First time I'd ever signed up, which was just crazy to me. I was like, "There's no fucking way. This is insane, right?" And then I proceeded to go up there and tell some pretty torrid details about my wife and I's personal life. So, and very unexpectedly, right? Like I did my set, did the jokes, and then in the interview I ended up spilling the beans, right? So
what was her reaction when she found out that you did that?
I have to watch this now.
Well, if it's not
mixed
baloney,
reviews.
So I called. So here's the best part.
I know it's hard.
The setup was he asked me a question that led.
What's
into
your sex life like?
What I told him, and I was like, she's gonna fucking kill me for this. And then I heard him from the back go, "Oh shit," because he knew what I was about to fucking say, right? So I ended up fucking unloading, right? And to answer your question, when I got out, like as soon as I got off stage, I immediately walked outside and I was like, let's do this now. I was like, she's gonna find out eventually. I gotta tell her right away. So she wasn't upset. Honestly, she was super excited for me. Like legitimately, she was very cool about it. And didn't really act like it bothered her at all. We've definitely had conversations about it since, and she's like, I didn't love it.
But she let you have your moment, which is beautiful.
For sure.
She knew that was important,
Absolutely.
and she held back.
Yeah. Yes.
That's why you married that girl.
That's nice.
And then...
Or yeah, you're married, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
That's why you married that girl.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And
yes.
she was a girl.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I haven't met her yet.
This is my...
Not anymore. That's her.
My favorite. Because Scott, we've only known each other for a couple of years. And he just found out that when I met my wife, she was 17. And so he loves to give me shit about that.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Well, how old were you?
Because he thinks it bothers me. That was 15 years ago. Yes, 15 years ago when I was in my 20s, my wife was 17. Yes.
Yeah.
I was just making jokes.
Yeah.
You see-
No, that's the point. I'm saying you're new to this. The shit that I was getting then did to me what you think you're doing. At this point, I'm like, I don't care.
Now
You already
it's socially
have thick
acceptable.
skin,
Now
too.
it's just like, well done, sir. Like
Exactly, yes.
now he's getting his flowers and
Yeah.
you're bringing them back.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, so I'm fucking flying, right?
Yeah.
Like this was, again, this whole move was another crazy thing. And again, I'd kind of, started doing open mics and made some friends and was doing well. But like, this was the first moment that I was like, oh, fuck. It's like big shit can happen. You know, because nothing like that had happened to me in California, right? And then I'll Tarantino back. But then I proceeded to get on the next 4 weeks in a row.
Holy shit.
Wow.
And obviously, all he wanted to talk about in the interview every time was all of the shit that I didn't need to be talking about.
That's funny.
So
what was it?
So when he asked you about
All right,
are you allowed to say it again?
God damn it.
yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
I think I talked about it like 2 weeks ago on this
we've
podcast.
talked about it, yeah.
So my wife and I hook up with other chicks sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, get
So,
into all right.
and at the time, it was the first girl that we had ever.
Oh, so it's the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know it was the
and it
first
was
time.
like 3 or 4 months into the first experience, right?
Okay.
So,
Did the girl ever find out about the Kill Tony?
yeah, that's why we're not. That's why it was over. Yeah, it got real awkward. At first, it was like, oh, cool. And then it was like, oh, everybody knows. And
then like week 4, you're like.
It was a lot. Yeah,
week 4, you're like they're digging for more details. Tony's just.
By week 4, names and addresses are given out.
And also, it's like, there's how many 100,000 views on this video? Yeah. So,
So basically, like, yeah, Kill Tony, never heard of it. It's fine. And all of a sudden, it's like, whoa.
Millions of people. Dude, every once in a while, when I just need to get humbled, I'll go back and read the comments from any of those fucking episodes.
What did they say?
Holy fuck. All of the meanest shit you've ever heard about yourself and some things you didn't know. YouTube comments will let you in.
Yeah, poor Rebecca had to go through that
too. Holy shit, it was brutal. It was hilarious, but it was fucking brutal. My Jason Mimosa bit.
It's not much
was
different
a comment
than like even getting comments on a short
YouTube.
For me.
That's where I got that.
Oh, that's true.
It's like the same stuff.
Yeah, Rebecca gets hate.
Yeah, like they think I'm trans because I have a low voice. She gets called
trans a lot.
Fucking hilarious.
Well, and her boyfriend's gay.
And I've never denied it.
That's a lot of it. That is a lot of it.
Yeah, and I've purposefully never denied it. Just to keep them guessing.
You don't lie.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't lie.
So
Not a
Tarantino
liar.
back. First night, I'm buzzing, right? And then obviously they don't do this anymore at the mothership, but when they were at Vulcan, they did after parties.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So a local band would play, and there was, obviously Tony would be there, and often the guests on the show would hang out afterwards, and it was a very cool scene, right? So I'm fucking buzzing. And everybody's buying me drinks and shit. I feel like a fucking celebrity. It was crazy. Yeah. For like 6 months after that, I couldn't go anywhere downtown without people recognizing me and like, oh, I saw you on Kill Tony, you're so funny, and this and that, right? And obviously wanting to talk about the details of the fucking situation.
Just inquiring.
yeah, of course. So how do you fucking
how do you bring that up?
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. So I'm beside myself, right? And I go up to the Vulcan balcony, right? And I had my first, and it's packed. It's fucking everybody out there, and I'm just fucking standing, just kind of like, and like people were coming up and saying shit to me, but I was very much just like kind of having my own moment, right? Just like basking in it. And I was like, fuck, I don't have any weed. And I turn and I see a 6'6" fucking angel fucking sparking a joint. This motherfucker.
Did you just tell the story of how we met? Oh, that's so gay. I could cry.
Yeah. So he's fucking smoking a joint, and I was like, I mean, I was being a bastard. I was like, I'm going to smoke some of this motherfucker's joint, right? So I walked up, and I said...
He's using me. He's a drug addict.
Yes.
I'm the guy from Kill Tony.
So I walked up and said some, like, asinine, crazy shit, and he was just like, we're doing this. And we proceeded to riff on the most insane garbage for the next 15 minutes straight, just smoking this joint. Aww. And then he was like, gotta go back to work, and he disappeared. And then I didn't see Scott again for like weeks. Like you weren't working the other nights that I ended up being on Kill Tony. So we actually didn't end up becoming friends until like 6 months after that.
You came to the Christmas party.
Yes. Yep.
Well, it was a Christmas gathering. It was like the first time I had a party at the house. It was Thanksgiving 2021. And
it was just the Vulcan guys, basically,
just like
and me.
4 Vulcan door guys. And then on Christmas, it was like 4 Vulcan door guys, and they left. And then a second crew came through, and it was you, Nate, and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And we all hung out back with James, and we fucking swapped stories. And you told a story about the bear.
Yeah.
You told a bear story. The Trouble Bear. But one of us misheard it, Trouble Bear, and then we nicknamed ourselves the Trouble Bears.
Aww.
But that's funny too. That's how we solidified the relationship, was smoking joints and swapping stories on the fucking back patio at the house. I never thought, I forgot about that. Yeah. And now we do this.
Well, I don't know what's baloney is just so specific, and it makes sense.
Well.
Is it just one part of each story that's not
That
true?
was the side that everybody does. It's like, I want both stories to be true.
Oh,
but I mean, it sucks when I believed you guys the whole time.
There
I was
some
either the whole story is true,
okay,
or it's not.
Okay.
if the story is a lie, there may be a detail or so that could be true.
Okay.
But either the story as a whole is a lie or it's true.
Okay. The thing is, you both live here now.
Correct. We
So
did both come here.
We both exist here in the same.
Well, you don't.
And you,
But you said where you
guys
moved
met in
to.
the story, so
You
that
never
was true.
lied about that. What about if I guess one and then you guess one and then one of us is right?
Ooh, this is a new opportunity. We haven't thought about that. I guess you don't.
Well,
I guess you don't have to.
Should we do it?
pick
We
this
write
in.
it down. Should we write it down?
Shit. Ooh,
We'll see
that's
who
fun.
wins.
Ooh, we could
So what
have
I'm saying?
a.
So that way
we
it's
could
just
have a
like-
right and a wrong.
Okay. All right. So you write
This is
one,
interesting.
and then
Gonna cast your ballot.
This is fun.
I feel like
I feel bad for one of us. Just lied to Rebecca.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
guilty about that having happened.
Well, now she knows.
Because I saw it when she went to go write it down. She's like,
Who can I never trust again?
yeah, exactly.
all right, folded it, handed it over.
to who?
Oh, just put it right there. You guys can read it out.
Okay.
I have Rebecca's. Do you have Alfie's?
Mhm.
I have Rebecca's. I told my story first, so you tell your paper first.
He picked you.
She picked you.
Oh, shit. This is fun. This has never happened.
Scott had wrestling in it, so I'm like, wrestling's fake. Maybe it's baloney.
True.
Too good to be true.
You were just looking up in the side, scratching your head a lot, and I don't know if that was to throw me off or if it was legit.
I was lying. Rebecca's right.
Oh, that's an amazing story. That's so too. Oh, fuck.
This is so much fun. We have to have two people on more. That was exciting.
Yeah, Gabe and I didn't meet at Vulcan. We met at a massage parlor.
Yeah.
All right, when he was working there.
Yep.
That's how we met
We both
too.
worked there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish we met there.
The only thing that I thought would maybe be yours was lie was that specifically you walking into the equipment and banging your head. I don't know. I was just like, that's just such a random detail to add in and throw
Yeah,
me
true,
off.
the details, but it was
That
just
was
like,
one
yeah,
thing that I
it was-
wasn't
But if you
sure.
watch the episodes, you would know that
We
I
would
do
see
that
Oh, is that
all
in
the
the
time.
is that in the episode? Like, did they
it's in
catch
the
the you?
episode.
Oh,
walking
yeah,
the-
yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
funny.
that's amazing.
That's
I have to
awesome.
go back
I'll
and
have to
watch
look
that.
it
That's
up.
wonderful.
Did you get on 4 times in a row or
That
no?
is true. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is
That
true.
the Kill Tony part of the experience.
It felt like
is
the
true.
poop part wasn't true.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's what wasn't true.
So you both kind of lied.
I just focused on body language.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry, bud.
I just like thought it was too good because that's like an amazing.
No,
story.
that's
I thought it
true.
was
It's
too
an
good to be
amazing
true.
story.
I'm
That's
like,
an
that is
amazing first
You
experience.
guys had an amazing
That's
story.
Disney.
Those were all good stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah,
I
well,
think we
it's
did
true.
actually meet at Kill Tony, but I obviously romanticized the.
Yeah. Yeah. But that seems like how you guys
You always
met.
romanticize our relationship, though.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the gay boyfriend.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. And he's the trans.
At least on Hinge.
But that's a story for another time.
Plug your
All right,
shit.
Fuck yeah. Plug your shit, guys.
Watch
Follow
us-
Hump Days
follow
on
Hump Days.
YouTube, on
Hump.
Spotify, on Apple.
We'll
any
have
other
links
podcasts.
To everything in the
then-
description.
amazing.
See our shows.
Yeah.
As well. Live shows.
Hump
Yeah,
Days
what do you
as well.
when do you guys do shows?
Typically,
Once a
it'll
week?
be Wednesdays or Saturdays, but
Okay.
it's once a month.
Once a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys
we'll-
always at Roscoe's or do you
We're
do it
doing
different
one
places?
at the Vulcan for the first time. 'Cause that was
Oh,
the first,
nice,
that was the
very
first place we saw a show. So it's
Okay.
like,
Yeah, that's fun.
But
That's
we
full
love
circle.
Ross.
so
Yeah,
it's like
fun.
that's like that. You know, they asked to do a show there. First
Yeah.
first show we ever saw was there. So it's like let's just do it once. Because normally like. Because I think when I tell people about Roscoe's, the club, like, oh, you do comedy, they're excited about the show. But then when I say, yeah, and there's free parking, eyes light up.
Yeah.
Like, the people don't like going to the Dirty Six.
No.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
another
really-
thing too, is it's not on 36,
Yes.
and it actually is a big
nice.
The
part of why it's
Vulcan's an
nice.
iconic
Yes.
place to go see, but it's like if you live here, I think people are just done with the Six, not so much the venue.
Locals anyway, like people
Locals.
touring in, you'll get those people for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
But
so-
locals are kind of like, oh, the
Well,
Six.
there's also a big comedy tourism that's happening here
Yes.
right now, too.
Yeah.
I went
Which
to
is awesome.
I did Maggie Mays last night, and he barked in
Leo.
a standing room.
Wow.
Yeah, Leo does a great
I
job.
mean, it was full seats and
That's
at
awesome.
the tables and at the bar, and there was people standing in the back by the bathrooms.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So it has that opportunity on 6th
That's
Street. That's the
true.
one thing.
That's
that it
the
has.
thing,
I mean,
yeah.
I truly believe that it's sort of the Broadway of comedy right now, coming from Creek in the Cave to Vulcan to Mothership to Sunset.
That row is crazy.
Yeah, that's fun to do. But it's like,
and then you got Roscoe's on the other side of the highway. You got Velv right there. Austin East Comedy Club is, right over there as well. There's a lot happening.
We just went to Nashville, and it feels like that, but for comedy, like
it's so much cleaner.
Yeah, that's true. But Nashville is like for music, obviously, but it feels similar on 6th Street a little bit for comedy.
But
it's kind of cool.
Less grunge.
Yeah. It's
to keep it PG.
Yeah, but there's still the same amount of bachelorettes. So
Yeah.
Feels familiar.
I don't like it, but like you guys produce a show at the Roscoe's, isn't it? Like, don't you? Isn't like saying
I
It's
love
just a nice
Roscoe's.
room,
Yeah,
eh?
they
It's
take
just
good care of us there.
Yeah.
It's like a kill box vibe, but
Yeah.
but there's space in there too. You know what I mean? It feels like a underground New York City comedy club kill box, but there's more space. It's not as actually claustrophobic as that.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's a really perfect balance. I love that room.
Yeah, it's a good scene.
And the owners they're a great choice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
They're the
like
best.
I see it as like a mom and pop store, so it's just like
Right?
They take
Yeah.
such good care of us, and I want to do everything I can to keep taking care of them. Go to Roscoe's.
Go to
Go
Roscoe's.
to Roscoe's Comedy Club.
Yeah, it's a great feel. Cool.
All right, guys.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you for being on. This was a blast.
So
This was
much
a good
fun.
episode.
Thanks for having us.
You want
This
to chain
was
smoke
awesome.
cigarettes?
Yes, let's do it. I have to pee first.
Me too.